process going. So go ahead and grab your cup of coffee if you need it. There's water's on the table. All righty, folks, let's get started. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Okay, we're going to start off stand up, and we're going to do 10 jumping jacks. Just kidding. Did you? Okay. Well, good morning. My 20th year of doing these budgets, and they progressed quite well. Sit down. I really, really enjoy this. I'm not sure to this day why, but I really enjoy it. I sent you a one-pager the other day, and I genuinely believe that. You know, we're a very unique club, and I don't know any other club where the board has the ability to spend the funds unrestricted. So why it's so important to engage in this process, understand what's going on, ask questions. No such thing as a stupid question, as you know. So please ask questions. Mr. Barish, everybody else know. Is it working? Okay. No. Do me a favor, please silence your phones. If you have to use the restroom, just get up and use the restroom. We will take breaks. Other than that, it's wonderful to be here. We've got, I think, our staff did a wonderful job. Harvey's going to talk a little bit about the parameters and how we'll operate today, but our staff did a wonderful job, I think, and hopefully you're satisfied overall with the budget. But welcome, and I'm going to hand it over to Harvey, and he's got a few words.
Thank you. First of all, I want to remind everybody that this is being streamed live on YouTube to any of the members who want to watch. So just be aware of that. Number two, there are two documents that were on your tables this morning. One is the three-pager, which is an analysis of the trends report, which is under section 15 of your book, comparing the trends report to Glen Eagle's numbers for the year ending 2024. So you could just put that into the very back of your book behind the trends. And the other one is a document that Craig put together from talking to all of the other country clubs about what their annual dues increases have been so far, and comparing what their initiation fee or new member capital contributions are. We're near the bottom of the list when it comes to new member capital contributions. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, so each of the department heads are going to go. They are going to give their opening remarks. They are going to talk about we're going to do capital first in each department. We're going to go through their capital items. You could ask questions about the capital items. If you have suggestions, you can make them at that point. We're then going to go into operating. They are not going to go line by line. They are going to pick certain lines that they want to talk about that maybe are different from the prior year or something that they want to explain. And then it will be open for everybody to ask whatever questions about any line that you want to ask about. Please let them go through their little spiel without interruption. And hopefully this will go really nice and smooth. And our first person is the golf department. And I just want to state that in the golf department, Mr. Domino is celebrating his 15th year with us. And Megan, who will be talking about the retail part of it, is celebrating her 11th year. Joe, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everybody. Is that loud enough? Can you hear me? Thank you. Good morning. We have really enjoyed putting this together. It's actually quite exciting. We do enjoy putting the budget plan, working closely and getting some of the staff to understand it and get them to learn how to do such an intense budget. So, but before I go into talking about our capital and our preamble, first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to congratulate Jake Gable once again for moving up to our head golf professional. And then next, Jake Bryan is on 18 years. And we would like to welcome our new assistant golf professional. He is on 3 days. So, Matt Civolo. Matt, come on up.
How are you, everybody? Really glad to be here. I'm looking forward to a great season. Obviously looking forward to working with this wonderful team. And I'm really glad to be a part of the Glen Eagles team. So looking forward to getting to know the members. And I can't wait to get the season started. So thank you so much. And thank you for having me.
Thank you, Matt. Okay, the first thing before I go into the capital, I just want to take a moment and from the golf department to read our preamble for this year. As we continue to build a strong and sustainable future, our commitment to fiscal responsibility remains at the forefront of our operation. By maintaining disciplined financial practices and ensuring transparent oversight, we aim to steward our resources wisely and support long-term growth. Equally important is the ongoing engagement of our members, our most valuable stakeholders. Through consistent communication, meaningful programs, and attentive service, we strive to foster a connected community. Operationally, we are enhancing our focus on payroll monitoring to ensure efficient staffing levels and cost control without compromising service quality. Along this, we are implementing tighter merchandise inventory controls to minimize loss, optimize stock levels, and better meet the members' demands. Finally, maximizing tee sheet utilization remains a key priority. Through effective scheduling, improved access, and data-driven strategies, we aim to increase course efficiency while delivering an exceptional experience for every golfer. Together, these pillars form the foundation of our strategy. We are to pursue excellence, accountability, and member satisfaction in all the areas of our organization. So, thank you. That's our budget. Thank you. I'm going to go into, as Harvey said, we're going to go right to, it's page 11 is the capital. And as you see, the golf cart existing lease, and then the golf cart GPS system. That's on our lease program. In front of the podium here, you'll see our range ball. We're looking to possibly change the pyramids to the crates. And I already got punched once this morning, so. This is entirely up to, we brought it up here for you to help make the decision. Listen, there's no question when we look out on the driving range how beautiful the pyramids look. We close the range at 5 o'clock. We get it picked clean for when our members are dining to be able to have a great look outside and see that presentation. So, but what are we doing? Well, if you look at the majority of the clubs, and I've been to, in probably about the last 2 months, I've gone to 7 different clubs to just kind of look at how they do their driving range, look into their shop. And unfortunately, I do go look at their bathrooms and take pictures. And nobody beats our bathroom. And everybody has gone to the crates. And why is that? It's, once you look at the pyramids and you take the time from a labor standpoint and you set up the pyramids, it takes about 1 minute to knock a pyramid down, and then you feel bad it doesn't fit with the uniform of the pyramid setup. But it is easy access for a lefty and a righty as opposed to the crates, we just flip it the other way. But they have seen a better presentation for their driving ranges from a consistency. Some of the guys, I saw one club that's very private club that had the green baskets still, and that doesn't work. And but most of them have gone that route. Does that mean we have to? That's why we're reaching out to you. So we have proposed in there for the range ball crates. We are looking once again to you to make that decision with us. So, and a ball washing machine. I spoke to Mr. Spien, and this was about a week ago. The ball washing machine, as you know, the number of balls that we do go through each day in season, and they are always picked, washed, and reset. So we're doing at least 30 to 40,000 balls every day on that machine. Right now, we have when you open the top of the machine, there's a huge drum that spins the balls. And actually, Gerald, who's our AM supervisor in the bag room, we're trying to get that part. Gerald says, I can fix that. So Gerald can fix that. We're going to save probably about $4,000, and we won't have to do a new one. But we're just having it in there just in case we cannot get that drum for that unit. So that's all we have from a capital standpoint. Everything else is good, just from an operating. So if we're going to move forward, Harvey. Oh, question. Hey, Mr. B.
We had a launch monitor. Barbie, did you take the batteries out? That was last year. We had some launch monitors here, and our previous professional took them with him. Have we made any provisions regards providing some?
Yeah, Luke did take his. We have one. We've already got 2 new ones in the shop.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. With Bush now, they had a great program for us, so we got 2.
Yeah, folks, if you'd use the microphone, that way people watching remotely and the folks here can hear.
When and if the renovations begin and there's an alternative for storing the carts, is that going to go against your budget, or is that going to go against construction?
Yeah.
We got a good idea for that.
Joe, have you analyzed what the cost savings would be for using those crates as opposed to the pyramid scheme?
We're still going to have an attendant on because he has to fill them. So we just really pretty much just run one attendant. It's going to help from a bag room standpoint if the guys go out. So from a service standpoint, we won't lose that bag room attendant that has to go out, work the short game area, that has to help him with tees and resetting those crates. So that one attendant that we have on, it would utilize him on the range as opposed to having to bring that extra guy from the bag room. So from a dollar value, I have not, but it would take that extra person to be more catered towards the member service.
Thank you.
Mr. Parks. And then Mr. Rich and Mr. Hack.
This one's not worth taking the batteries out of this one. At the very bottom. Yeah.
That's supposed to be what
Yeah, I was, a similar question to what Mark was asking, but what is your preference in this particular situation with the crates? I've been to a lot of courses, many of them with you, and I don't like them.
I'll answer that for you.
But that's personal. I think they look ugly compared to what you said out here, so, cool.
No question. I have to be honest with you, I from a display standpoint, when I look at the end of the night, when I leave and the range is set, it looks awesome.
Okay, I want to weigh in on a positive note. You know I play in Rochester, New York, where you come from. I played every country club up there. You know that too. And they all have things like that. The other thing is that one's better because it has 2 egresses for the balls. Most of them just have in the center. So that one is a winner.
Thank you.
I'm curious what the life expectancy is of the crate. Does it have to be replaced every year, every other year? What's the replacement?
On these crates, it's that new poly plastic that these will last 7, 8 years. Yeah, same thing that we have on the range. You know, it's just, as you can see, when it's cranking during season, and for the attendant to reset those pyramids, to stack them with the stacker, it's an intense labor job to be able to get that set up. It doesn't happen. You can just go by. We were at a pro lady, and there was, I think, probably 160 players, and the range attendant was just bucket, pour, and not having the stack. So it does make a big difference that way.
Mr. Barish.
How many of these, Joe, are you looking to get?
We're looking at 20. We usually run between 18 to 20 stations on the range, so we figured we're looking at 20.
I understand we still have our technician here working in the carpentry area, and he does build a lot of things. Is there any reason why we didn't have him discuss?
Now, we talked to from the material plus for him building them, it's almost, to be honest with you, it's almost the same price of what we're getting.
Is there any additional enhancements that you would like to make in that particular item that he could do that you would feel better?
Now, this one has the logo on it. Yeah. The slot that slides, you got a slide that comes with it. You'd have to make that slide as well. So that slide just blocks the slot where the golf balls come out of, you know?
What is your life expectancy, do you think, on these particular items?
As we mentioned, it's probably looking at 7, 8 years.
Okay, quick question. I mean, I like the pyramids, but I am not opposed to this. Is there anyone that's vehemently opposed to seeing these on the, okay, so 2. So the rest of you are okay? Okay, all right, we appreciate your input. We'll make a decision and we'll figure out if we're gonna keep it in or not. Thanks for your input on that. Yes?
Sorry, quick question. I don't know if it's possible, but the best of both worlds, we do like every other one, so at least you see the neat pyramids, and then there are for people that rather just use the slots, because the pyramids, they'll still look nice, but if they're every other one, I don't know, just a thought.
That's creative. I like that thought. And then like over the next year, we'll keep taking one pyramid away. By the end of the year, there's nothing. That's kind of, creative thoughts we like. Who knows?
And if you notice that the little baskets that we went to on the short game area, that's when we go to other clubs, you see these different things that help and make it look better. Remember we had the big den caddies? They were really heavy and they really started to wear. These little baskets are great. So it's easier for the member if they want to move that, more mobile and lighter. So we like those.
Inside out. Very bottom, a little button on the very, very bottom. There you go. One at the top. Push it up.
It would be great if they could have something like that in a pyramid shape that would come out on 4 sides or 3 sides on the bottom.
Now you're really complicated.
They don't make that, I guess.
What's that show on TV that they do the investments with? Shark
Tank.
All right, any
Okay.
other questions on capital at this point? We'll get into operating that.
Okay, thank you for that. Right now, I'm going to turn the microphone over to our Director of Retail, Megan Pendergrass.
Good morning, all. So as you can see on page 9, you'll see the budget for soft goods, hard goods, and demo goods.
One second. I forgot to mention this. Just a reminder, the projected column is the June actual plus July, August, September, October budget. So we're looking at it, you know what you're looking at. Sorry.
So if you look at the projected number, you'll see that with soft goods, we're budgeting about exactly where we are coming into this year. Hard goods, the same, and demo goods, this past year was a very successful year where we were notified early enough of the Callaway smoke product that was actually going to be discontinued. So we made a blast about that, and we were able to sell off a lot of the demos rather than having to send them back, pay for the shipping, even though we would get the dollar amount back. We basically sold them to where we weren't losing money, so the club was still gaining off of that. If you now flip to page 19. You will see the buying plan highlights. And within this past summer, myself and Jake, we attended several merchandise shows together, which was great to have the extra eyes and ears and everything for this coming year. We looked at a lot of different and new brands and started to see the color schemes that are going to go within this year. We're going to have new merchandise from a very nice company called Holderness and Bourne. It's basically Peter Millar, except it's not Peter Millar. It's a little bit, to us, it's a little bit better. It's a little bit more casual, upscale, just very sleek looking. They only do men's right now, but that will be something that we will be, we finally got our account open, thanks to the accounting department. We'll have our first shipment probably around December, and then we'll have 2 to 3 from the year after. So it's going to be extremely elegant and upscale within the shop. And for the ladies, one of the higher notes for me that I'm very excited for is it's a company called Smith & Quinn. And it's a company that years ago was started off of the lady whose last name was Smith, and she didn't want the fancy, elegant, foo-foo wedding dress. So she started designing dresses, and they're just very shaped, modern, and very classy. And so with that, we'll also be going higher on golf teaming for the ladies, which I know has been very important. They've definitely made changes, made some prints in their tops, and so it's going to be a little bit more than just having their skirts come in, because that was one of the issues, was people couldn't make outfits out of it. In regards to the hard goods, we're still on track. Companies are definitely increasing. Just for example, we had a sales rep here a few weeks ago. The companies wholesale on the golf bags are increasing $30 a bag. So obviously things are taking the hits. Gloves are increasing. Just for example, within our headwear companies, I'm seeing wholesale. These are also with logo going up anywhere from $3.75 to $5 per hat. So within that, and the way Jake and I structured going to the shows is obviously special orders is always something huge for us here at Gleneagles, but we have increased the size of the stock orders coming in, hoping to give more of the offerings and the size runs available to the membership and their guests, but also to help minimize on the special orders. That way, because a lot of the companies now with tariffs and embroidery being separate in their facilities are putting surcharges on orders that are 4 pieces or less. So we're having to revamp a little bit, but that's why we're making our pre-book collections come in heavier. We'll still continue to do our demo days as Joe mentioned. Jake purchased 2 launch monitors from Bushnell. So when it comes to the fittings, when it comes to demo days, we'll have those out there, which is going to be able to tell you your ball speed, club speed, distance, and they can also work out on the golf course if he was to take you for like a playing lesson and you really wanted to see what's going on. Just one high note from, well, there's 2 high notes from this past season is I had 17 members double order package sets. Meaning because obviously ShipSticks is getting more expensive and everything like that, but 17 members where sets were drop shipped here and 1 set was drop shipped to where they were. Mike being in the shop for quite a bit of that, he saw a lot of those. So obviously the sales are there. We will take advantage of all of that, but that is a very huge plus for us. And I'm sure it's a plus to the member to not have to pay ShipSticks each time they go to and from. And as most of you all know, after 3.5 years, Mike has went to be a membership manager, and we wish him the absolute best. He is still with the Woodward Eagles family, and I know Kristen is very happy to have him with her. In regards to that, we've moved Ian Ratty. He's been in the bag room for the last season. Very nice young kid, motivated, and he will be my right hand. And he is also going through the PGA program to be a golf professional. So, if anyone has any questions, please, yes.
When you get invoiced,
Two questions. One, do you have enough storage space for the materials, the soft goods that you're buying? Or is that something we should be considering for the renovation? And secondly, what was my second question? Yes, this might be a healthy lifestyle question, but would you have any objection, and do you have the space to perhaps fill some healthy lifestyle clothing in with the golf clothing that you have?
Let me just answer the one question. We actually have, I know we would like to see more accessories. For example, we have on sale today, if you're interested, Gleneagles mugs. But, we have two retail operations. We have tennis and we have golf. And we want to try to incorporate some accessories. If you have any ideas of things during the holidays that we can put out, we have a meeting Friday, and we're going to get together with our retail purchasers, Kristen, myself, Reagan, whoever, and we're going to talk about, I think there's an opportunity. For example, and then I'll stop talking, where all your golf bags are, that's a lot of space. Let's put some things, impulse buying, things like that, not to try to generate profits, but as an amenity. Come in and I don't know, whatever it is, we're going to come up with some ideas, but if you think of anything, your shops at home, ideas, we're all ears. So anyways, I'll let you go.
To answer your other question, Mr. Goldberg, I am actually going to be fully transparent and say no. We do not have enough storage, basically because the storeroom across the hall from the golf shop is marked off with the electrical tape because that's where the breakers are. So therefore, we only have about a third of that room.
We think that it's definitely a challenge, but we spoke to David James. David James is going to come in, if we can reconstruct that room to build some shelving in there to help utilize and maximize out that room right now. There's the other room where we have the rental clubs. That's a dry storage area for us as you walk into by that bathroom, that door there. That's where we hold all of our rental clubs and a lot of storage that we use there. And I think during the rental, that's going away.
So not being overly familiar with the need for this, we have a couple options. One is if we need immediate storage, meaning you've run out of a shirt style or a skirt and you want to go in there and grab one, that's one thing. The other is we've got a ton of storage at the community maintenance facility. And we can fence it off to put your retail. I'm looking at putting a loft in one side to give us more space. We don't need to build more space. We might need to reassign the immediate storage needs. And the rest of it, they're killing me down there with all the junk that's in these rooms. We're going to get rid of it again for the 15th time, but we have plenty of space down there. So,
I like that.
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Good question, though. Mr. Hecht, and then.
Do any of your vendors offer you promotional goods during the course of the season where
Yes.
you catch a break here and there, or X amount of golf balls, throw in an extra 3 golf balls, you know what I'm talking about?
100%, and that's one of the things with, in regards to like FootJoy, for example. With our pre-book and everything, we became what's called exclusive +1, meaning we're exclusive FootJoy because you see the stay coolers, the custom gloves and everything, but then we also have the Callaway gloves in there. So then therefore, with our orders and even reorders, we get a percentage off of those wholesale prices. It's the same with shoes. There'll be a lot of times where, just like you mentioned, 2 or 3 times a year, if we go ahead and tell Callaway, listen, we want 48 more dozen Super Softs, what it is, we'll get 12 free. And so yes, the companies do offer the offsets. They'll also send us net downs as the year goes on, as things continue to phase.
We also, because we're a premier club, we get a 3% with Callaway. They also take good care of us. Also, Becky came to me when we were, a rep was here for the Bridgestone. And this was before the pricing had changed. And we usually do a very large order of the double packs. And we actually doubled that order. So we've got we're very well set for the season for those before that increase went per box. So that was big. We saved quite a bit of money on that.
Washington, Rich, Kavanaugh, and Feldman. You have a mic back there.
Are apparel trunk shows meaningful?
That's where the companies are lacking right now because they're trying to, within the restructuring of, a lot of the companies are moving warehouses into Vietnam and everything. Because just for example, like a lot of the Echo shoes are made in China right now due to the tariffs. They're not even coming into the States. They moved warehouses down to Vietnam. And so you're going to see like your BOAs and your LT1s and newer shoes coming in the spring, but it did delay and affect the fall.
Good question. Most of the stuff you buy is made overseas. When you get invoicing, does it itemize and show you where the tariffs are or not?
No, it's just like, for instance, with like Sport Haley and the basic degrees that I carry in the shop, it's just at the very bottom, it just says 5% tariff. It doesn't, it's basically there's a 5% on each product. Yes. Some of them do.
I think the question that Mark asked was, there's space to put some of the health and lifestyle clothing in the golf shop or the tennis shop.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that Friday.
Yeah, we have a meeting Friday, myself, Kristen, Ruth, Reagan, Craig. That is a topic of discussion that has already been set in place.
Megan, I want to compliment you and Jake and whoever else is responsible for the soft and retail sales. I think you do really just a fantastic job. But I do want to emphasize it in my opinion, something that you had broached before. I know in the past you had indicated that if someone doesn't see something, they shouldn't be going to PGA, they get special order, etc. I'm glad to hear that you are ordering, at the inception of the season, more sizes than you have. Because candidly, sometimes, unless you happen to be in the golf shop, when you get shipments in, you'll get a small up to extra large or double X, etc. And then it's gone. And oftentimes people just don't want to go to a store. Either they'll try to get something else, and it's just unavailable. So if we do have the space, especially as we get into the season, I don't know what the supply chain scenario is going to be. If I had to guess, I think it's going to be probably even more difficult to order things during the season. So if you can order multiple sets of clothing, you should do so. The demographics of Glen Eagles has changed over the last 3 to 4 years, in my opinion. We have more and more people with disposable income who are willing to spend more money on good quality clothing. And you shouldn't be afraid. I remember you and I used to have this conversation, and your conversation with me always was, well, there's a price point, there's a price point. I think that price point has increased over the last few years. And if you have an opportunity to bring in better quality merchandise into your shop, you should try to do so.
And you're definitely gonna see that this year.
At the very worst, at the end of the season, if we need to have sales and the like, we won't lose any money on that at all. That's just my suggestion.
Mrs. Finerman, Mr. Levy, Mr. Heck.
So, what is it? I just curious what the price point is, because while I kind of agree, I kind of disagree, because I think, there's a lot of us, and you can look at a lot of women buying clothes. You want to buy 10 pair of shoes at $50, or do you want to buy 2 pair at $150 or $300? So everybody's different. And a lot of people would rather buy more and it be a $60 shirt instead of a $100 shirt. So, as long as you're covering your bases, but I was just curious if you've noticed what the price point is and what you feel like, what moves quicker than other things.
It's not necessarily so much of what moves quicker. I'm still sticking with my staples of I can use Mr. Seidel as an example, the Adidas shirts, you know, that are a little bit lower versus your Grayson and your Wilderness and Born and stuff. So I'm not neglecting the staples of, but I am bringing in higher stuff, just like I'm keeping the Adidas shorts and the Red Manly men's shorts as the basics, because one is a lower price point, one is the higher price point, and then it can satisfy both whichever member doesn't want to spend money or doesn't want to pay a lot and buy more versus, you know, someone that has the disposable income as mentioned. So it's not that we're getting away from, I don't want to say inexpensive, but lower price points. We're gonna literally be able to cover all bases now.
Question about the shipping cost. Is that a cost of returning merchandise to the manufacturers and or is it shipping goods to members?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Shipping, what does it represent, your shipping costs? I know it's.
It's a shipping cost line item in the budget.
So I know the things that I code to, I know the things that I code is the freight that's on each invoice that I get. But that's also, when Scott Petak or shipping and receiving send merchandise back, that UPS or FedEx will also go against our shipping goods.
When we receive product and we build the product and there's a shipping charge on it, the shipping does not go into the cost of the product. It goes into a separate line item, shipping cost. So the shipping line item is the cost that we're paying for the companies to ship product to us.
Plus the membership.
Plus whatever we're sending out.
Yeah.
But we charge the members.
Yeah. Mr. Heck.
You know, when I used to be in the clothing business, and I used to do trunk shows. And in this case, you're bringing in a lot of new product, and you're introducing new styles, maybe some new colors. And we have a nice room, the Hall of Champions down there. Maybe come November or December, it would be great if you have a trunk show and have people come, men and women, they can view the goods, and I guarantee your sales for that day will be phenomenal. Because whenever I did a trunk show, things just sold, because for the first time, people got a chance to see what the goods looked like on someone. Sometimes they just flip through look at shoulders. Looking at shoulders does not necessarily mean that that particular outfit is not good for you. And by doing a trunk show, you've got so many women here. You can do all sizes that you want, whatever sizes you should decide. But if you choose one day and introduce your fall goods, or if you choose one day sometime and introduce your spring goods, you're buying pretty much, I don't know if you're buying once or twice a year seasonally, but I think it would be a great idea. And I think it gives people a chance to see really what things look like. I mean, we basically have a show introducing new clubs. That's almost like a trunk show in itself because we have a setup and you sell clubs during the day of the setup. There's no reason why you can't blow out a lot of merchandise just on a trunk show.
Megan,
So
thank you, Mr. Hepp. Are the vendors willing to do this?
The vendors are, so for instance, a lot of the companies, they can only bring their samples and their samples are all size medium or all size small. The companies are willing to ship us product. There's a couple now that I've been working with. One of them is the Golftini. One of them is a different sport company where they will ship us in and then not invoice us until after they leave. So we're working to get those parameters and see exactly date, time, and how much we feel would need to come in prior. Because if we just have a company just come with what they currently have, it's their samples, which is small to medium.
Unlike in the past, the trunk shows were fantastic, and I think Megan loves them and we liked them. But I think the offerings are a lot less. But we do demo days. That's a trunk show. Try it and buy it. We do Echo. Some of them that will come with specific items that they know they have in stock. I think our challenge, though, is just ordering. I don't want to speak for you, but I love the trunk shows. I think they're great.
Let me tell you something. When it comes to trunk shows, and I used to bring my own goods at times for trunk shows, my dresses at the time. Trunk shows are limited size-wise. You're going to wind up getting small and mediums. That's just the way it goes. And by the way, you also have stock. So it doesn't mean that you can't use your stock for a trunk show and use that because that's the goods that you have that you want to sell. So there you could get you could get a 12 or a 14 or a 16 or medium large, extra large, or however it's sized, you have the goods. So you gotta think a little broader as far as that goes.
Thank you, Mr. Benz.
On the bottom, all the way to the.
Sorry, I'd like to turn back to the actual line items in the budget for a minute. With regard to your proposal for soft goods sales and hard goods sales, which are based off of the projected for the year, I was very amazed and pleased when the August numbers were shared at yesterday's golf meeting, which showed your August numbers for hard goods were 261% over budget. So, we're talking over $3,000 more in hard goods sales. Similarly, in soft goods sales, there were 217% of budget, which was represented over $2,000 over budget. I'm wondering if your numbers projected for your proposed 26 budget are too low.
Sandbaggery, that's what I call it. You know, it's something that we need to take into consideration, and somebody made the comment yesterday, is April, May, I don't know what our recips represent and the volume. You see the rounds are down because we're gonna go to one golf course when we start renovating. I don't know if that's any of the rationale behind it, but between rounds, golf revenue, the soft goods, you have to speak to why it's flat to this year and what we're expecting.
I think the tariffs is going to make a little bit of an issue. I also think availability is also going to make an issue, which is why we quote unquote preloaded, which is why in the months of season, if you look at it line by line, the projected are definitely over, but then in summer, it definitely does drop. We won't be having outside events. Next summer, like we did a 4-county this year, we did a South Palm and everything. Those brought in, $2,000, $3,000 just in that day because we were paying them out in gift certificates and offering discounts at the time.
I just think it's one spot in the budget where actually that where we're projected that she's actually moving it to the budget for next year. Most everyone, if you exceeded your budget, go back down to whatever the budget is plus, a few thousand. She's actually next year's budget is actually what projected is, which is 10% above where we are now. I think that's a great number. You can go up 10% a year in your budget. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a great point. And just keep in mind as we go through golf course maintenance, as we go through golf operations, that the renovation will have some impact. Don't know. I think we've factored it in efficiently, and that it will probably be pretty close. But there's that small anomaly. Go ahead.
Is that it, Joe?
Thank you. I will give
Thanks,
the
Megan.
mic back to Mr. Camino.
Marty, go ahead.
Just remember, the cost of sales section in golf is 85%. Plus, then we have to add shipping. So for every $10,000 of retail sales that you add, you're only adding $1,125 to the bottom line. Just put that up.
Okay, Harvey, we're going right to page 9 on revenue.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, as Megan already went through all of our soft goods, hard goods, we're going to go down to the half the page where we go to other income. As you can see we'll just kind of jump down through the 9-hole card fees. From a budget standpoint, we were 412, we're looking at 449, an increase is 37,000. 12 holders, they went down a little bit, so we did project that to be a little bit lower. And reason for that is some of them had moved down to the 9 holders. So we had quite a few of them.
The best way to see this is to look at page 21.
Okay, yeah, that's for the cart fees. And then as we're looking at the 18-hole cart fees, an increase of like 39. We're looking at from budget from 778, new budget at 817. And as we move into the guest fees at 145, we're budgeting 167. Bag storage. I just want to ask Harvey a quick question.
Yes. Yes.
He's the numbers guy. If you're looking at your bag storage at 145, your bag storage fees they're at 160 going to 188, and that is you'll see the projection of an increase in bag storage fees. Now the bag storage, as you see, the daily fee. What is a daily fee? If nobody is familiar with that, if you have a guest or that comes and stays and leaves their clubs, we charge $5 per day or $25 for the week. If you look at how much we've made this past year, what we're projecting, bless you. Brett McFeeder's in the bag room. Brett's been here 18 years. Brett started a new program this past season, and that program really found a lot more bags and a lot more income for us, and accolades to him that he created a new program that really monitors the guest bags much better for us. So that's a nice increase there, and looking at that daily fee to be really good for this upcoming season. Now, once again, it's $5 per day and at $25 for the week. The ball retrieval, as we know every year, that's always a giggle and a question, but to find the guy, the guy with the one arm that goes in the lakes, definitely fought an alligator. So that's pretty much, that's like a flat line, right, Harvey? If we get it from them, we're great. The club rental has increased over the years. It's been really great to give our guests a really nice quality set of golf clubs through Callaway. We had a great program, brand new. We do the Caleas from TaylorMade for the ladies, and then we have the Rogues from Callaway for the men's clubs. I mean, a beautiful brand new set of clubs is great. So that's made a difference, and then increase in that for this upcoming year. And then the miscellaneous income is that has changed drastically. And Jake, you do a few grips on that? So that's into grip repair and club repair. This past week, I did have a couple of members come to me, and they had broken shafts. So we don't do shaft repair. We've created a very good relationship with the guys down at PJ Superstore. So for example, I'll take it down. I'll see Zach down there or Danny, and they'll fix it in like a day and a half, and they'll give us a reduced rate when I go in there. And you know what? It cost us for that. Maybe 4 of them come out in the summer and play golf. And they take really good care of us. And what we do is we do a 10% for the member when we charge them for that repair. So we do make a few bucks on it, nothing crazy. But if you do a $125 shaft repair, we do get something for it. So that's in between that and then the grip repair. Once again, when I started here, we did about $500 in grip repair for the year. So, we turned that into a very nice service for our members, and the different grips that they have nowadays is amazing. When they came out with the new Super Stroke for putters, it's amazing how many we go through. So but it's nice, and we try to keep that price down. I went over and what we charge, I went over and had to get one for one of our members. And theirs was like $10 more. So, yes, sir.
Joe, so we're proposing that we raise the cart fees, some fee, something like that.
This budget has a $1 increase across the board for all the cards.
Okay, so what I'm looking at is particularly the 18 hole. And we're budgeting less than we're actually hitting this year. And on top of that, we've got an increase in cart fee. I'm just wondering about that.
Okay, go ahead. Next summer, the Legends Golf Course is going to be shut down for 6 months while we're doing greens and tees. During the summer, you're going to have to shut the victory course down for periods of time for maintenance. So there will be times next summer where we're going to have no golf course for a week or two at a time. We're going to be losing rounds.
So that's a great question. I just want to add to that. Legends is by far the most popular, I believe, during the summer. Not having it, and I forget how many recips we do. How many?
We did.
So far, we've done 658.
Yeah. So the recips. I mean, not that they won't come. So we are going to be limited. I asked the same question. Why are we not going forward with the rounds, but having one golf course for really? And Jason said yesterday at the golf meeting, it's the entire summer, from April or May through all the way up to November. So we'll lose it then. Okay, I got Mr. Feldman, Ms. Feinerman, Mr. Levy, Mr. Goldberg, in that order.
Joe, if I understand your summary correctly, we're going to be required to either reject or approve some of your recommendations. $1 increase for card fees and a $15 increase for storage.
For bag storage, yes, sir.
As I understand it, you're not making a recommendation of any increases in gas fees or reciprocals, which I understand we simply charge what other clubs are charging us, and your pro fees are remaining the same.
Right. Can I, let me touch on guest fees.
It's like, that was where I'm going next.
Yeah. On the guest fees in the off-season for a guest of a golf member, since I've been here in the summertime, a guest of a golf member pays, the greens fee is $5 for 9 and $10 for 18. And that's been the same. And as we were doing the budget, I reached out to my fellow professionals at, whether it's Ibis, Meisner, Woodfield, Del Air, Quail Ridge. Their summer guest fee is $75. That includes the card.
Please refer to page 25 for comparison.
Yeah, look at the guest comparative, not
Right.
to emulate, but it's good to know what compared to our.
So from the in-season, whether that's up to you guys, but the summer, I feel that a increase from $10 for the greens fee, I think we could go to 25 and be comfortable with still a good rate for our members' guests, and then 15 for the 9 hole, and we're still at a very reasonable summertime rate, but we would increase, we looked at it was almost $5,000 for the number of guests that we had through this summer. I think that at the 5 and the 10 has been there, like I said, since I've been here. And I think a little increase would not hurt that much from a summertime standpoint.
Just real quick, along these lines, on whether it's Thursday or Friday, as Budget and Finance Committee members and board, I think you sit in, this is where you can make these recommendations, okay? So let's not try to hash them out here. Ask the questions, but that's where we have an opportunity to make a recommendation. And of course, as board members, you will ratify that. So we got.
I have time to ask my question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So with respect to guest fees in season, right? You are not recommending that we have any changes at all, if I understand correct. So my question, is this. Let's just focus on 18 holes for a second. You indicated range, $59 for Wycliffe being the lowest, and Quail Ridge being 100 and 60. Our current gas fee is $70, which is $33 below the area average of 103 and 60. And, you know, the analysis continues with respect to 9 holes as well. So my question is, and we constantly have this debate, if we have an opportunity to raise a gas fee, and I recognize that the members are paying additional money, et cetera, but it seems to me that we shouldn't always be at the bottom of the list. We should be closer to the average rather than closer to the bottom. So I see no reason why, you know, there's an opportunity where we may be able to increase revenue by increasing the gas fee $5, $10, $15 and still be below the average. I don't know what your sentiment is to that.
I don't think it will put us out of the realm at all if we did an increase of like 15 or, no, I agree with you.
Just a quick comment, kind of food for thought. Incremental increases, let's take, for example, the golf cart fees. If we increased them $1, as we're recommending, $50,000. Harvey, what was the indicator as far as dues percentage? 100,000 represented 0.6%? Dues increase social? So just trying to give, you know, these incremental increases, as we look at our dues increases at somewhere between 6.5% and 7.2%, if we say, hey, what if we start charging for sodas? Well, we have, you know, 125,000 meals we serve. We generated $125,000. I'm not advocating, well, maybe I am. But anyways, that just dropped your dues socially by 0.6%. So instead of 7.2, it's 6.6. This is the kind of thing I want you to think about, because these small increases or decreases impact. So just keep that in mind as you go through it.
So your recommendation, and if I understood it, would be to go from $70 to $85 in season?
I don't think you'd be out of the realm. I think it's still comfortable, and you're not optimist, you would say, because that isn't what we have such a great product that we
And
could
what about
definitely.
9 rolls? Right now, it's $40, which is 21 and change below the average of 61.70. Would you recommend that we go from 40 to
55.
For example? To what, 55?
I think if you're gonna do kind of even across the board for 9 and 18.
So as budget and finance, you know, because Harvey, I don't know if he's making these notes, but make your own notes that when we sit down, say, hey, we'd like to make a recommendation that we bring it up to 55, or not. The board, you'll have your bite at the apple, and they budget finance issue. They recommend, we agree, we disagree, we want to make it 60, or we want to keep it as it is.
Right.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure we all understand that it's the greens fee plus the cart fee. So it's not just we charge 70, we charge 70 plus so we're closer really to $100 a round. Not that it's saying it's wrong, but it's.
Yeah, because we're actually the tax, we're at 100,
Right,
102
so
right now.
I just
Right?
want to make sure we're all clear on that. My question or point was around the 9-hole cart fee. So we increased all of these evenly across the board, and I look back and we continue to do so. And when you're on page 25, if you notice, most of the separation between the 18-hole fee and the 9-hole fee usually is about 55 to 60% of the 18-hole fee. We're almost at 70% of the 18-hole fee. So that's just, you know, if you increase everything evenly year after year, it catches up. So now we're at the point where we're not 50%. It's not like $30 and 15 or where you make it 16. Now we're close to almost 70% of the whole fee.
Yeah, good point. Hold on, Mr. Beers. I got Mr. Levy, Mr. Goldberg, and then you're after Mr. Goldberg.
We're closing Legends next year for the greens and the tee boxes. And at the same time, we'll be closing for a week to 2 weeks Victory for maintenance. Is there any way to keep 9 holes open, only work on half the course at a time?
The gentleman
don't
was,
lose any
the
rounds.
gentleman was right after me, Jason Bagwell. He can probably answer that question.
Say that for Jason.
Yeah.
I think we've come up with some good ways minimize closures on Victory. But yeah, if you want to ask him that. Goldberg.
So with respect to the bag storage fees, many other clubs have member-owned carts, and I would imagine that the bag storage fees or the bag storage requirements would be down. But have you asked your colleagues how much they're charging annually for bag storage?
Yeah, usually it's around, anybody who has the bag storage, similar to like a Quail or, they're like closer to 200.
Well, because that's what I was thinking. I mean, I see no reason why we shouldn't bump this up to $200 annually. And, it is a use fee, and it's a one-time use fee, and I don't think the membership is really going to feel it very much over the course of the year. It would bring in another $40,000 to your operations. Any thoughts about that?
I mean, that when we sat with Harvey and Mr. Spina, that's when we made the initial jump of going up to the 175. So not to where it was going to be, that drastic, but enough to justify doing an increase in the bag.
And would you be averse to a $200 annual bag fee?
That, once again, would be at your meeting. My opinion, I think it's a little bit too much of a jump. That's my opinion.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Paris is next.
Looking
I'd
at,
like to be here tomorrow.
getting back to the guest fees, just one comment that the high fees that you see are courses that do not have the cart fee. People basically have their own carts, so you're looking at a number now that is almost equal when you raise it to what the top people have it right now.
Well, Quail has 140, 150 carts. Bear Lakes has the same fleet as we do. So those clubs don't have personal carts. Is that what you're saying?
No, some of them do have.
Some of these do, yes,
Yes,
but they
yeah.
do not.
Yeah.
Banyan does not. They don't have personal carts.
Addison,
Yeah.
Well, Addison does.
110, Meisner? Yes,
Meisner.
yes. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, just look at the equation in regard to some of the,
yeah.
that you gotta be careful that you don't outprice us.
No, well, that's why we just kept it like with Quail's probably one of the most.
And it's a
And they have
perception
the
of
same
what
fleet
Twin
we have.
Eagles is in regard to more user friendly. We're not out there for every nickel and dime, even though we certainly want to stay positive. There is a perception of who we are.
You're gonna go through the whole process, the next 2 days, and it's dues and user fees. That's it. So it comes from one bucket or the other. Who was, you did, Mr. Barish, Kavanaugh, and then Ms. Seidel.
On the,
Use your, mic, thank you.
whatever the number is, you're talking about the bag storage fees. A lot of these things come in a one shot they come as a one-shot charge in November. Is there an alternative in having it billed either as part of the cart fee or on a monthly basis? I'm reserving the same mistake.
It'd be up to you.
I like the one-time annual fee, that's it. You do not prorate it, it's the fee for the year. If we're gonna start now playing around with billing the cart fee on a monthly basis, when people have their bags in, when they don't have their bags in, that will become a headache.
It's just looking at that in the context of the amount that you want to go up. I don't know where the right number is.
Ms. Seidel, I'm sorry, Ms. Seidel, go ahead.
Well, we're raising fees, and I'm not opposed to that, but we're raising all of these fees in a year where the golf course is gonna be closed for a good portion of that year. It's not a good look, I don't think. So while I think we should raise, I'm okay raising the fees, I wouldn't go through the roof this year.
Thank you.
Who else? No?
You don't count.
Hey, just real quick, a food for thought. No, it's not food for thought, but I just found it interesting that when the GMs do a survey, I think about 20, 25 of us reply, so you get a good indication of what's going on around this area. And it's amazing, I think we're one of the few clubs, Kristen, that charges dues or Harvey on a monthly basis.
I think we're the only club that.
It's wild. I mean, they either go 2 installments, they do front end, just not advocating, but I just thought it was I was surprised. Yeah, Kristen?
Even, for example, Hunter's Run, they charge you a premium if you do 3 or 4 installments versus 1.
That's wild.
So
I don't know. I mean,
tremendous value for our members.
it's cash flow and it's the interest we get on the cash flow, obviously, but yeah, Mrs. Feinerman.
I read in there that there's people, and we know this, that don't use the bag storage because either they don't want to pay the $200, it's not worth it, but yet they're still like bag handling. And now you guys have to track how many times they're coming and going. Can we just call it a bag handling fee and every golf member? Is that a tough pill to swallow? But it's pretty much if you're coming in and out and you're bringing your clubs and somebody has to go pick them up and then clean them and bring them back to the drop, I'm not sure that's any different than those of us that literally store it here from a handling perspective.
It's kind of one of those things that don't disrespect to anybody that does that with their bag, but when we catch them, it makes us feel good.
You know what?
After that sixth time that they played and put their bag in their car, we'll call Kristen and say, time to charge.
Yeah, no, it's really a revenue stream. And it was, I think, what did we take away a while back? Is it the gratuity to service charge? Service charge. And so the one time, I forget what we charged, it was $850 a year. And it's the same like a bag storage fee. So if we took that bag storage fee, figured out what the annual income is in total, put it in the golf dues, you do it once and it would go away. But everybody would dilute the cost per member. That's just food for thought. You can do it, you don't have to do it, but it's always in there then. That's the same way as a service charge. Because the service charge didn't go to the staff. It, again, was a revenue stream. The bag room storage fee doesn't go to the bag room attendants. They get paid an hourly rate. Just food for thought.
We do have some members that also, the other way, they do have bag storage, but they prefer because they travel a lot and they carry their bag in their car, but we do charge them. Because they play more than 6 times, but they prefer to just put their bag in their car.
You do operating expenses?
Yeah, operating. Go to page 10.
A lot of good questions, folks.
Okay, I go to, right to the operating expenses, and I'll just go over in the variance category. If you look over to the first line item is the operating supplies, it went down $8,000. And the reason being is this past year, that was the new bag tags in this past year's budget. So that's why we reduced that back to its the 15.8. Okay. You want me to go to not building? All right. Harvey says I'm going all the way down. We're going to the tournament expense and the member guest. You'll see there's an additional $4,000 there, and that's with adding another. It's a multi-day men's member guest that we added into that category, and then the tournament expense for the food and beverage.
You can see that on page 42 is the detailed breakdown of the member guest.
Okay. And then on the increase of the tournament for the expense for the food and beverage, seeing the size of our couples events have increased. Well, the continental breakfast is $6 a person. So that is, we use that line item comes out of that. So because they've gotten so big and we've added 3 this year, additional ones. So that's why that increase has been put in there.
Does anybody have any questions on the operating section? We only highlighted the line items that had changes from last year. And there is really no significant change in the payroll section other than the 5% rate increase and a few hours here and there. It's bearish.
I assume on the salary and wages that you did not have a full staff at that time, that the adjustment on this number included the additional of all the employees that under the
Yeah,
golf
this is
club?
based on being fully staffed, yes.
Mr. Benson?
I'm looking at page 35 of the book where, for the gin system, you say you have 880 members, and then further on down, you talk about the gin handicap program being 930 players. So I was curious why there's a 50-player difference between those numbers.
Yeah, usually our renters increase that. Yes, sir. And as Mr. Benson asking that question, we do a purge with Gin. They'll do an inventory on that twice a year. And we try to, before they go and do the purge, we usually go through there and try to delete anybody who is not active anymore or has moved to make sure that they're out of there, so we do not get charged for that.
Yeah, that is a fluid process that they're gonna charge you if we go in and look at it, reduce by 20 or 30 or 40 regular cases. Any other questions for Joe or the golf team? Operations? Okay, thank you, folks. Do you need 5? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Take 5 and then Jason back will
You go all the way around.
It's so papers like I mean, you've been on the street, you guys. I'm so.
It's not like we're growing this here for now. Window. It takes a whole teaching background, and it's still.
She told you? I'm a little nervous, but we'll see. Yeah. Oh, when we go. She told me about it, and I was like, biggest break for everybody to
Are we ready?
Greg Watley.
Okay, let's go.
There's no. But yeah, that'll get it unlocked.
We started.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, if everybody have a seat, we'll go ahead and get started with golf course maintenance and then moving into common area maintenance. Okay, first of all, I'd like to start out with the weather report over the past week or so. Topping off at about 15 inches since last Monday afternoon. Monday afternoon last week was a 7.5-inch downpour that really destroyed both golf courses and the bunkers. And we're going to have to do a little mild renovation here moving up in a couple of weeks as soon as the rain is over. We haven't experienced a rain downpour like that since 2013, where we got 10 inches of rain in about an hour and a half, 2 hours, which then triggered a complete bunker renovation on both golf courses. But we're going to do this one in-house as it wasn't terrible. But anyway.
Before Jason starts, 15 years, by the way.
Thank you very much. I thought it was 16, but I was kind of the absence of hair. Feels like it, yes. Okay, so we'll be referring to page 44 for my operating budget. some of my assumptions, which are basically explanations on which line item is referring to, is on page 46, 47, and 48. So if you're wondering what these line items are, and I'll kind of dip into a few of them as we go. Oh, you want to start with capital? Make them all mad first? Okay, capital. Harvey, I'll let you take care of the leases, and then I'll move down through the actual.
The first three line items are existing leases that are already in place, so those numbers are given. There will be a balloon payment on the third one, which is the golf cart lease, October 26th. We put that payment in there. Then we go to the bottom section below those leases, and I will say, let me just say this before we talk about the Legends, Greens, and Tees renovations. The next 5 line items, from the John Deere utility tractor down to the Hector irrigation satellite boxes, those are in there if we want to purchase these items outright. They total $424,000. We have an option to take them out on leases. If we were to take a 3-year lease, the annual payment would be $160,000. For a 4-year lease, the annual payment will be $123,661.
What's the cost of those so they can?
$424,000.
What is the cost for the money versus purchasing it?
The paperwork didn't give me an interest rate on it.
My guess is 6.5%, 7%.
Yeah.
Okay, so take that into consideration. It's obviously it's cash flow versus giving them interest rates, you know, could be an extra $100,000. Just food for thought.
Okay, well, we'll start out with the Legends, Greens renovation and Tee renovation. All right, so why do we need to do that? The Greens, the infrastructure is still intact and performing beautifully. The greens have, the surrounding grass around the greens have encroached in on the surface of the green. It's 2 different grasses. We have Celebration Bermuda grass on the tees, greens, tees, fairways, and rough. And then we have Tip Eagle Ultra Dwarf Bermuda grass on the greens. Well, the outside grass is significantly more aggressive than the grass that's on the greens. So we lost surface area. I did some measuring this morning, and over a total of what we used to have 3.5 acres, and now we're closer to 3 acres. It's about a 20 to 25%. The main reason we're wanting to do that. A couple of the greens in some areas, we've lost 10 feet of green space, and then other areas is about 2 or 3 feet. So why the timing and why now? Well, the Legends course is 16 years old. And instead of blowing the entire golf course up and spending what today's cost of renovating a golf course is somewhere around $15 million, we started a program about 5 years ago on replacing some of the structure. And that's one of the line items here. We're replacing the sprinkler heads at $250 each year for the next, well, we've already done 500. I'm asking for another 250 for 2026. There's about 1,000, there's about 1,100 heads. So in the next year and a half, we'll have all brand new sprinklers, which increases the longevity of the irrigation system. The piping in on the Legends course is all HDPE, and that's a 50 to a 75-year life expectancy. Another thing that I have on this is replacing the satellite boxes. They're electrical components. There are 35 on the golf course. And they have about anywhere from a 14 to a 17-year life expectancy, where the repair costs exceed the replacement costs. And so we're there now, and I would like to replace all of those irrigation sprinkler boxes. I'll get to that in a second. So why are we doing the tees? So the tees have become a little bit crowned. They've settled in some of the areas. Some of them are still perfect, and we won't touch those other than regrassing. So the reason we're doing the tees is because whenever you do one project, it's certainly more cheaper to do 2 projects at the same time. We would take the material off of the greens, and the sand has built up, there's about 4 inches extra sand underneath the grass and greens, just from buildup of top dressing over the time. We'll take that material and put it on top of the tees and do a nice laser level and change some of the shapes and sizes of the tees minute. For a total cost of not to exceed of $846,000. That's a contractor bid price. It's a unit price. So when the project is done, we only pay for what is installed. This price is to renovate all 18 sets of tee, 18 holes of tees. But what I just mentioned, some of them do not need to be done. So that would be just money off the top. Are there any questions about, okay, so you might want to know, well, when are we going to close? How are we going to close? What's the timing? What's the aerification schedule look like for the Victory? And so yes, so the answer would be, we would want to start as soon as we can. So I'll work with Joe Domino on the tournament schedule that's already put forth, the end of April and the beginning of May, as we always start our summer course closures during that time. It'll be a 6-month process. It could be sooner depending on weather. We would close the Legends Golf Course, and it would remain closed for the entire summer and be ready to go for November 1. All right, so what do we do for the Victory Golf Course? We would do just like we did on the Legends Golf Course when we were doing a complete renovation on the Victory Course. I'd ask for about 1-day closure as soon as we can in May, maybe right before we close the Legends Course. Just give me a couple of days to do some soil of the greens, nothing that disrupts play. And then we would just keep it open all summer long. And then what kind of closure would I look at? I would ask you to consider closing the Victory Golf Course during our summer closure. So that's a 2-week closure. I think the revenue is, we don't really bank on a lot of revenue coming in on that time. And I think that makes the most sense to me. And I'll guarantee you great playing conditions in and around that schedule.
I had a quick question here. Is since I'm assuming when we do the greens, that we're taking them all the way down to their base when we dig them out?
So I've already done some testing. The drainage and the rock and the first 12 inches of sand that was installed has been tested to be perfect still. So we would only remove the top 4 inches. We would bring in an additional 1 or 2 inches and bring them back to the specification, the USGA specification of 4 inches of gravel, 12 inches of mix, and then the grassing on top of that.
And do we have somebody that's designing the actual service design of the greens now? Because you're going to be changing everything. So so make them just as tough, even though they're bigger, they'll be just as tough.
The greens will go back to the exact design that they were in 2011.
Do that based on GPS.
No, do that based off of 12 inches off the rock. So if you do consistently 12 inches off the rock all the way around and bring it back out to the original borders of the green, they will go back exactly on the surface as they were built in 2011. Now, if there is a green that you just hate, and I don't think there is one, but if there is, this would be the time to blow the entire thing up. Price goes up a little bit because you're digging down, renovating, adding drainage, rock, new irrigation, so there'll be some costs associated with that. Thank you.
Mr. Barris, then please.
During all our renovations and other clubs' renovations throughout the area, they've always accommodated each of us in regard to reciprocal. Who would be looking to make some special deals regarding providing play at all the additional courses that we try to help.
So the good news is the recips, we already have the summers as part of your playlist. So I'm not going to ask them for any, special dispensation from a cost perspective because we don't give it to anybody. Usually it's if we end up in November or for some reason December, we would set up and they would help us some additional play if we needed it. Boy, Jason, these guys grow grass, we should be done by November, ready to play.
Well, we know we'll have enough rain. The question is whether it's too much.
That's detrimental. We get too much rain, you're redoing them again. Mr. Levy.
A quick question, on the greens and the tees renovation, is there a way to keep the course open and only do 9 at a time?
So saying keeping Legends open?
On Legends, yes. You keep 9 open, renovate 9, and then switch.
Yeah, so contractors didn't bid it that way, as there would be, we would incur a significant cost, just because of logistics of the way the course is. If we're on number 1, we need to do number 10. And also travel route, we'll be running down number 12 with bulldozers and, not bulldozers, but dump trucks hauling dirt and material. So I think there could be a safety concern. And if we did that, we would ask the construction company to take longer routes, wouldn't be able to use the maintenance facility. So I think we just need to bank that the victory course is going to accommodate everyone in excellent playing condition.
You know, for drinks and giggles, look at your, not right now, but when you have a chance, look at your golf rounds by month. And as you get into June, July, August, September, they're a third of what they are in these other months. Obviously, why we want to do it in summer, plus that's your growing season. But September, I think, 1,500 rounds. In March, you're like 7,500. Give you an indication. What other question? Okay, go ahead, keep going, Jay.
You know what, we could revisit that just a little bit. I mean, we might be able to keep it open just another week or two. If they started down on, let's say, like, 14, 15, 16, then maybe 1 through 9 could stay open a little bit longer. I certainly don't want to keep the golf course. Now, I do want you to know that prior to closing this course, that we're going to kill some grass around. So it will be brown around the greens. We won't kill the greens, but we'll do around. So you'll have that, you guys remember that, really. It doesn't really affect playing conditions. It's just a visual. So. Okay, keeping on going down the capital line items here, just to allude to what he was talking about. I'm asking for a John Deere utility tractor.
Yes, hold on
Yes,
one second. Those next 5 items that I told you was $424,000. That 3-year lease, which I said would be $160,000 a year, over the 3 years, that would be $480,000. So we're talking $56,000 in interest. 4 years, it would be $494,000. So we're talking $70,000 worth of interest.
Thanks, George.
Which would include a John Deere utility tractor. It's a smaller one that will run these will run these 2 next attachments that I'm asking for. A John Deere root pruner. I spend about $5,000 in operating each year on a contract service that comes and do tree root pruning. It's basically this big knife that goes behind a tractor, and they just run up and down the hole. So, for example, hole number 1 on the Legends course, you have all the trees, oak trees down the left-hand side. Well, they would just go just right on the right-hand side to keep the roots contained. The tree roots take life out of the grass, if you will. It's competing against water and fertility and all those types of things. So if I purchase my own, we would take time and we would do small squares around every individual tree. We like good turf on left side of the tree, back side of the tree, front side of the tree, all the way around. Yes.
So just so I understand, why wouldn't we purchase it? Because now it may not affect our budget for the next 4 years if we pay it off in the same, as quickly as we would lease it.
Yes.
It's the budget after that that's really just maintenance. So that was one. But the other thing is, what's the life expectancy of this piece of equipment?
Yeah, so a life expectancy of a John Deere utility tractor is about 15 years. The life of a root pruner, is a lifetime investment. Same thing with this Wiedemann TerraSpike aerifier. These are 15-year items that we just keep there. Yes, sir.
Are these all new items or are these replacements?
Brand new items, adding to the fleet. Okay, so you see GST robotic mowers. As you know, we've demoed these autonomous mowers throughout the summer. We had one on the driving range. We had one on the par 3 11 over on the Victory Golf Course. This is to purchase 2 of those. I think that's where golf course maintenance, that's the future of golf course maintenance and the way mowing grass. There are clubs within the country here that are all autonomous mowers. I'm not saying that we're going to be here in this subtropic climate where we can barely keep up with the grass as is, But I do think it's forward thinking. I think it's important to show the membership that we are trying new innovative things. And for $24,000, I would set up one of these mowers possibly on the east course and one of these mowers over on the west course on, maybe a par 3, number 11 on the victory course, and we might do hole number 6 or, anyway, we'll move it around. My goal was to buy 2 of those on the driving range, and we may still do that. Logistically working with the pro shop and setting up the driving range tee, and the balls need to be completely cleared off the area. If we can increase their payroll a little bit where they can pick the driving range clean, I will have it perfectly mowed every single night with one of these autonomous mowers. It's a really nice touch.
How about the speed of the autonomous mowers? Are they faster or slower than what we're doing now?
They mow at night. So when you come in the morning, the grass is mowed. I mean, it's really cool. The actual speed is a little less than what you walk. That's the actual speed. But the speed of doing an area is it mows all night long, every single night. And these particular 2 machines that I'm having here is you set it up based off an area. So I would set up an area called rough, and it would go out and mow the rough at 1.5 inches. And then I would have another area, collar and approach, at 0.5 inch, and it will come out at a second time, lower it down, and mow the collar and approach. So it's really neat.
Barish, Parks, and Phelps.
I'd like to address 2 items. One is you talked about the driving range. It seems that the rest of the golf course with all this rain seems to recover. The driving range still is a problem in regard to water. Have you any anticipation of doing anything in regard to correcting that with some additional drainage, take away all that water?
The drainage is in place. It's all about the lake level and the weir structures that we have on property. We have 2 weir structures on the Legends course, one at 3T and one at 6T. And then we also have one on the Victory course at 6T. It's in the landscape bed, so you can't really see it. The problem is, the speed in which the water moves out of the property. I know Mr. Neil Simon he was in here, we would talk about the lake on number 18, and he was panicking because it was already, Mr. Parrish, you know as well, you live over there. So it's the lake and the infrastructure can't handle the speed that the rain has been coming in at. But I will say is, I met with a underground company last week, and I have another meeting with another company tomorrow. Every single lake and every single drainage and every single pipe is interconnected within the community of Glen Eagles. All of these pipes were installed in 1983, 84, 85, 86. The pipe of choice at that time was corrugated metal. This is the exact same thing that's happening to all of the communities within the Boca area that was constructed in the 1980s. These corrugated metal pipe are failing. They're rusting, they're getting holes, and currently we have an issue at the south gate. So, we had a little issue beginning of the week. Well, there's a pipe that goes from the lake on the east side of the south gate to the west side of the south gate. And we have some holes. The reason I know we have some holes because we had some sinkholes that were replaced and we had cameras going there. And so now it's time to line. They come in with these big balloons and they line the pipe with this stuff and it hardens, and that's the best way to do it and be the least invasive. Just to do that 325 feet from lake to lake with 2 catch basins and line those is $80,000. I got another company coming tomorrow. We're trying to get the cost down, but Glen Eagles is in a position where we need to set up either a 5 or a 10-year program and going through the entire community and addressing, or at least putting a camera in these pipes and coming up with a program of about $200,000 a year and address some of these corrugated metal piping throughout the whole community.
Yeah, so this is interesting. I had asked Jason and David to look at it because St. Andrews and Addison probably 3-4 weeks ago sent a chain email to all the GMs and asked if we had done any of this. They showed pictures of pavers that had caved in, sinkholes, and it was a byproduct of that. They're spending millions And I think, Jason is exactly right, is we just got to set a little money aside and do, but when we did our camera search, was probably, were you even here when we did it? The last
Yeah,
time?
so Mike Eustace did one probably 15 years ago.
15 years ago.
$1 million plus just on some scoping and fixing some of the stuff that we had then.
Yeah, as Jason said, we had the original blocks were still left in some of the pipes where you were just getting this much water through. So anyways, enough said, it's something that's going to come down the pipe. Mr. Barish.
We have discussed that many
No
years.
pun intended.
We discussed that years ago, and I think it's time that we make a provision to do some escrowing of money in regard to taking care of it. The other issue is robotic. You and I have had conversations for a year in regard to moving ahead. And we've had some conversation in eliminating some of your gas-powered maintenance equipment, which can be replaced with electric and battery. Have you considered, again, looking at that from the standpoint of relieving some of these noisy instruments that can be replaced as far as using the modern new equipment again?
Yes, I have. We have, and they've had electric mowers out for quite some time, probably even 15, 20 years. Noise is definitely an issue. Battery operated mowers is not, the technology is not quite there, meaning you got to charge batteries. They don't last all day long. We cut all day long. Here in South Florida, we cut 365 days a year. So I have found the mowers that I have tested are not advanced enough for us here at Glen Eagles. Not to say we couldn't use walk mowers. They're twice the cost. Okay, so I price just some backpack blowers for this area right here as a noise of the Loch Marie condos number 1 and 2. A normal backpack blower that we're using is about $500 as the gas-powered, really loud ones. The electric ones are about $2,500. They're significantly heavier because you're carrying a big battery on your back. It's just an expense that I didn't want to incur at this time, but when backed into the corner, we do have some options when it comes to noise. But, that's my piece on it.
Question. Steve, do you have a question? No.
I have. Jason, you may have answered this question, but I just want to confirm this. It's very, very frustrating when we get a lot of rain and we can't, number one, go on to the courses, or we go out and we have to use the carpet only. But then it's complicated with the practice facility being closed as well. Is there anything that we can do to ameliorate the situation so that we can make more use of the practice facility? I'm assuming the reason that we can is because the balls get embedded into the soil and they're difficult to pick up with the current machinery that we have right now. Is there anything that we can do to alleviate this?
Yeah, there is, and I spoke with Joe Domino. It's a labor cost. I mean, we're not going to close it. We're going to open it. You're going to hit balls. They're going to plug. We're going to go out there and hand pick them. We're doing a little bit of drainage work, of putting extra sand in these low areas. The whole thing is, if the ball picker can't get out there, then we shouldn't just close the range. We need to open it up. And it's a labor thing, and he's committed with him and his staff to making sure we don't have a year like we had last year during El Nino where it was closed 5 days in a row. So moving into this season, we're going to be more aggressive on doing more manual labor, on making sure it's open. And let's just say, like right now, we could open it. You guys go out there and hit 20,000 balls out there. Well, let's just leave them until it dries up. You can get it. So logistically, we're listening to you, and we're going to make some changes.
Hey, Jason, isn't the platinum level fix taking and bringing in 24 inches of top soil that's low in, that's probably silica sand and reshaping it so you get a little more drainage, but that's the real solution, but it's an extreme, I don't even know what it would cost.
Yeah, it's a cost. I mean, we could go out there and lift the entire thing up, 12 to 24 inches with sand, lift all the irrigation, lift all the drainage, and you'd pretty much have a driving range guaranteed. Just a really quick story. Grove 23, you might know Grove 23, Michael Jordan's course up in Hope Sound. He has 3 sand piles that are bigger than his clubhouse. He's capping the entire 100-acre golf course with 12 to 24 inches, just for that simple fact, he does never want to be turned away from his golf course being too wet.
Will you give us some of that?
He'd give us an idea of what we probably should do. Yes, sir. Hand here first.
I was kind of concerned about your earlier conversation about the water situation, the underground. How critical is this right now? Because if it is a point that it's critical, and you're talking about other clubs having sinkholes, which would cost us a heck of a lot more money to repair, then why aren't we appropriating some money in today's budget, at least to get the ball rolling, versus waiting until 27 to first start putting it into that budget? So you brought up the point, I just don't know how critical it is, but if you're coming to us and say, hey, this is a critical factor, I think we should start to consider appropriating some money today, so that in 26, whatever work you can start, whether it's a small part, even if, plan it over 5 years, divide it into 5 sections, do whatever you want to do. But if it's that important, I think we should seriously discuss allocating some funds for this.
I
Well,
missed the first part. Was that
yeah,
the
so-
drainage? Yeah, okay.
I think it's a great idea, and I appreciate that. And, unfortunately, this happened so close to this budget cycle. But if that is something that you would like to do, I'm ready to manage the plan. I would like for you to consider $100,000 for this year to fix the south gate drainage. That way I at least know the number that I have there. If we spend $50,000, then that's fine. But consider putting $100,000 in for pipe infrastructure, repair, replacement. Now this could be, it's Glendigo's money, but this can be split with property, whatever the case may be, the same where social, the whole thing.
I was just wondering also, if $100,000 is fine as far as I'm concerned, but would you consider a longer range project, at least to get us some numbers going forward, saying over a 5-year period, this may cost $1 million, or may cost $500,000. So at least we have an idea of a 5-year period, how we should allocate money over that time period. We don't want to lose profit.
That's our goal right now, and that's why we're doing this assessment. So we can earmark whatever you decide, or we decide for this year, and then we'll give you a 5-year plan. We'll know what it's going to cost to do the replacement, to line the pipes and all of that. We'll have something for you. Mr. Kavanaugh.
Is this a project where you want to go for a loan and make it out over more than a 5-year period? If the interest rates hopefully are going to come down a little bit, and you're going to be negotiating on the renovation, trying to not package, but do the both at the same time, because what he's talking about is are things that are going to affect people for extension.
Yeah, so let's get some numbers, but it comes down to one simple thing, it's cash flow. And cash flow and the assessments and the cost of the assessment to renovate the clubhouse and the other things. Let's look at it and figure out what it's going to cost, and we can come up with some solutions, I think, that are the most, would be approved more so by the members than another assessment.
Just one question on this. How much capital have we received this fiscal year? Do we know that
We
yet?
have almost $4.5 million. Yeah, but it goes way quick. Folks, keep in your mind that we average about 2.1, 2.2 in annual capitals. This year it's a lot more if you look at it. And we have a project coming up. Until we get that number, we don't know what it is, but I'll tell you right now, you want to have a very robust contingency, and you don't want to be sitting here with $1 million in the bank when something happens and you need the money. So I've always been an advocate that all these things are tied together right now. The most recent drainage issue, just as Jason said, it just happened recently, but we're on it. We'll get some numbers. We borrow the money, we pay out of capitals, understanding that it's kind of a domino effect. We don't want to, I always say, when real estate goes, your money stops coming in, your solutions, you got to start taxing the members for another payment on top of your assessments and the other things. So we got to, Anyways, Mr. Barish?
I think you could save a little money in the beginning because I'd like to get paid for all the times I've gone on this golf course and going up to those drains and cleaned them all out. It seems to be there is a neglectful reason why people do not clean those drains out. You walk this golf course after a rain or what have you, and you will see all kinds of mush and all kinds of leaks plugging everything up. And not only that, the water is not draining off the golf course because the stuff is there, but also there's also some interim things that you may do regard to a vacuum. There are some systems that if you know you have a problem in certain areas, they can come in on an interim basis for a lot less money and do some cleaning out, because I'm sure there are some areas in the golf course that, and in the general community, not only the golf course, this is a general problem for the entire community in regard to these pipes, that you can look at some of them and initially possibly clean some of them out.
What you're seeing is lake levels that are sitting at your top of your drains. You could vacuum, you could do everything under the sun, brush the debris away. It's not going anywhere.
But you also can open the weirs earlier.
No, we can't.
Not even allowed to touch the weirs, but we do it anyway. So let me answer your question. So each drainage basin has a basin, and it has a drain grate on the side, on the top of it. And the drain grate is there to make sure big particles don't go in there. So whenever we get 5 leaves on top of one of those drain basins, no water goes in there. So we'll remove those 5 and 5 more will go right on top of it. So during a rain event, after the rain event, yeah, I've got staff going around clearing drain basins every 15, 20 minutes to get the water to go down. And then we go back around and make sure that all the areas clean the debris. So I think we do a pretty good job on infrastructure cleaning. You're exactly right. We don't need to line every single one. Some of them just have sediment built up, where maybe a heavy rain pushed in some sand, or a broke pipe had some sediment and it went down in the drain where it wasn't supposed to go. So you're exactly right. Every single scenario has a different result in repairing it, and all of them do not need to be lined. Some of them need to be vacuumed, but all of them need to be scoped with a camera. And there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can do it wet, which is not really ideal because you can't really see what's down below and up top. So they'll put a plug on one end, a plug on the other end, pump all the water out, put a camera in there, and scope it dry. And that's the best way for you to get the most accurate information for each pipe.
Stay tuned, we'll have some more information on it.
Yeah, we're moving forward. And I'm not just having these companies come out and address the problem. I'm having these come out and look at the problem and also give me an idea of what the entire community needs, and then putting together a program for 5 or 10 years or whatever the case may be. And that's what these companies are here for.
Okay.
Just one question.
Yes.
So apropos of these piping issues, does the responsibility for community piping issues exist within the communities and associations themselves?
It's us.
It's us.
Yeah, it'd be impossible. It's like the parking lots, the roadways. Yeah, we just do it and you split it amongst all the residents.
Okay, moving on down the capital line items here, irrigation satellite boxes, those were the 35 electrical boxes that I was talking about. Toro satellite changeout, $32,000, that's just the labor to replace those. I'm going to try to eliminate that and do that in-house. They're going to come and show us how to do 1 or 2, and then we may be able to eliminate that $32,000, but I needed it there in case not. We have a John Deere golf lift. This is for the mechanic. This is another lift to lift the machines up. We have 2. My new equipment manager wants one in the 3rd bay that we have. Atlantic 2-ton mini split, $6,500. We have a small room inside the mechanic shop that he's turning into a real sharpening, mower blade sharpening room. And so the technician will be in there for many hours with the door shut. It's loud, and we want to put a little mini split air conditioning unit in there. And the Toro reels is to replace the cutting units on all of our cutting on all of our machines that are 4 years or older that we are keeping for a couple extra years. There was a $225,000 line item in here to replace all of the push mowers that we use on the greens. And I would like to try to get another couple of years out of those by just for $17,000 replacing just the cutting unit. So that's what that is.
That's capital. Any questions on capital?
Yes, lady in the front here.
The leases, if we lease equipment, do we own it at the end of these leases?
Depends upon the terms of the lease, but most of the leases give us $1 buyout option.
So you have to buy it out after.
And we don't do any more fair market. We don't do any more leases. We do purchases now, which incurs a balloon payment because of the way the structure, and I'll let Harvey.
Yeah, the only reason I asked is because we're talking about leasing that equipment, so I would not be in favor.
I would
of that.
maybe change the terminology from lease to financing.
Okay, thank you.
Can you show me where the landscape, the irrigation heads are in this budget?
So they're within the irrigation satellite boxes. So it says irrigation satellite boxes for $292,000. The irrigation satellite boxes are $210,000, and the actual another 250 sprinkler heads is about $40,000. So it's all in the same invoice. Yeah, thank you for asking. That's for the Legends Golf Course. Any other questions on capital for golf course maintenance? Okay, let's go to operating. We'll back up to page 44. And I'll be referencing 46, 47, and 48 on what these line items are. Not a big change, guys, from last year to this year. We almost hit our budget numbers, almost perfect. The cost of living pricing going up is the only increases that I see here. So I'm just going to jump around, but if there's something sticks out, let's talk about it. Operating supplies, very minimal. Dues and conferences, staying the same. This is for myself, Director of Golf Course Maintenance, and 2 superintendents to get all their restricted use pesticide licensings, their Class A status through the Golf Course Superintendent Association of America, all of the educational classes throughout the year, and one big one at the beginning of February that is this year in Orlando. Moving on down, telephone is expenses, cell phone reimbursement for my management staff. I'm just going to run down uniforms. We're increasing that just a little bit as the cost of uniforms has gone up just a little bit. So from $10,900 to $12,900 annual uniforms for the entire staff. Let's see here.
I have one change that we're going to be recommending. In the payroll section, we're going to need to increase payroll by $5,000. We made an offer to a superintendent for the Legends Golf Course, replacing Alex, who left. The offer that we made was the $5,000 more than the number that I actually put into the budget. So I'm going to recommend that we increase the budget by that $5,000.
And I'll dip into that a little bit. As long as he can pass his drug screening and background check, which I'm confident that he will, we want to try to get him on board next week. His name is Mark Brooks. He comes to us from Jupiter Hills Country Club. He was the assistant superintendent of the Hills course for 2 years, and then he was the superintendent of is it the Village in the Hills? Regardless, he was the superintendent under the director of golf there for the past 3 years, and he was not terminated, and he was never written up. It was just a personality difference between the director of golf maintenance and the superintendent. So he left on good terms with nice severance, but he's eager to get back in it, and hopefully we can get him on board Monday in the Legends course. Throw him right into the fire. Airification. Let's go. Okay, moving right on down, just kind of looking at some big ones. Repair and maintenance equipment. We do have a new equipment manager. We've changed our whole mentality on how we maintain all of the equipment in Glen Eagles. I'm talking shuttle bus, housekeeping, facility, all my mowers and everything, and he's done phenomenal. Anthony Poma, he's done a great job for us, and he's asking just a little bit more money to meet his standards of upkeep on all the equipment. Moving on down, irrigation stays the same. Fuels and lubrication stays the same. Trending. Water and sewer going off of trending. Let's see, I got a little explanation for that. Water and sewer. So water and sewer is the irrigation water that we have to purchase from Palm Beach County to irrigate our golf courses. It's gone up 2 cents per 1,000 gallons. So we're at 34 cents per 1,000 gallons of water. So when you see that budget going up and down, anybody have an idea what August and September is going to be? The budget's going to be down, right? Just the service fee, the service fee for each pump station before we get a drop of water is $3,219. So that's just the service fee for them to get the water to us, which is ridiculous, adding up to $175,000 a year just to irrigate. Trash removal stays the same. Moving on down quickly. Electricity staying the same. Lake maintenance is a contract service. Increased just a little bit. Landscape material stays the same. Fertilizer stays the same. Chemical stays the same. Soil and rock, same. Annual tree trimming, contract service stays the same. And that's operating budget for golf course maintenance, unless you'd like for me to explain what a line item is. Mr. Parrish.
Glen Eagles has been in business a long time, and you just made a mention of the fact that you're bringing somebody on board in regard to maintenance that's changed everything entirely, that so much to the better. Can you just give us a little more information of why all of a sudden this is such a big thing, and you feel very confident based upon all the past people you have here that this is so entirely different? Is it software? Is it something that he's doing?
Are you talking about replacing Alec and bringing in Mark?
Yes, yeah.
Alan, or you, no, you're
Poma?
talking about replacing Dino and Tim with,
Poma?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Anthony Poma. So
Yeah.
he's an equipment manager. Before we've had mechanics. We have mechanics that were able, it's shade tree mechanics, if you've ever heard that terminology. They were getting the job done, but not meeting expectations. This is, we have over 350 pieces of equipment that he's responsible for. He has two staff members that work for him. It's just an extremely high-level job, and we have been less than acceptable for many, 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 many years. Dino, that's good? Okay. Yeah, thank you for asking.
So Jason is also going to do the common area maintenance budget. So the capital of common area maintenance is line page 51.
Okay, common area maintenance, took this department over about 2.5 years ago, maybe longer. I'm not sure when Mike Eustace left, our property manager, but it just made sense for me to manage that, and we've made great improvements club-wide with our landscaping, our irrigation maintenance, our beautification, our tree trimming, and everything. And just a little fact sheet, you may have heard this before, I give this a lot. Common area maintenance has 17 employees. They're responsible for 7 satellite clubhouses, grounds, the main clubhouse and grounds, the community maintenance facility, Legends Way, Atlantic Avenue, Linton Boulevard, the grass, the employee parking lot, trees, shrubs, grass, 2.5 miles of ficus hedges, times 2, there's 2 sides and a top, 11 community irrigation pump stations, which I pretty much handle myself, 25,000 beautiful annual plants 2 times per year. And Franz Cosmos is our common area maintenance superintendent, and he's been with us a little over 30 years, and he's done a phenomenal job. And he really likes to do management strategies that he and I teamed up, and hopefully you're seeing the results of that. 35 years.
I've been here 35.
And so with that, common area maintenance, capital, we're considering a new floating fountain behind number 7 Green, which also is a part of La Catrine and the Victory community. So if you can visualize the waterway behind number 7 Victory, the bulkheaded wall, the community and us would like to have a fountain there. It's $28,000. Mr. Spina is trying to work a deal on splitting it with the homeowners.
Yeah, Victory is going to kick in at least 10,000 of the 28 because it does impact them. I mean, it is on club property, but I think that it will reduce that probably to 18,000.
It'll be a fountain similar to what we have on number 1 Victory. It'll have lights, it'll have cascade water flying, and electricity will come from the Victory pump station, which we pay for monthly. I also have some oak tree replacement up and down Legends Way that we lost a few. $54,000 is 9 oak trees that will go up and down Legends Way. They're a pretty good size. The caliper is about 10 inches and they're about 30 to 35 feet tall installed. So not quite as big what we have there, but about as big as you can bring in off property. And the two other is the golf cart leases at the percentage for common area maintenance.
Mr. Cart said a question.
Oh, just a quick question. The floating fountain that you're going to put in over there, that's because the water's getting somewhat stagnant in the area and needs to add some movement to it, just for clarification.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's for beautification and absolutely oxygenating the water, which will alleviate some of the algae, helps the wildlife, helps the fish. Yes, sir.
So to follow up on what Michael just asked, I've heard that the Strathern Pond may also require some verification. Is that?
You know, in a perfect world, and although the lakes are connected, I don't know which one on Strathern, you mean one by the satellite?
No, the one on 15.
Oh.
So he is talking.
Oh, the
about
new one.
that's on the-
Yeah, so any of those, there's not a lot of volume, relatively speaking, and if you don't have a lot of rain, it gets a little bit lower. There's not a lot of oxygenation going on there. It just kind of sits there. If we could put a fountain in on every single pond, it would be wonderful. A lot of them don't have access to electricity. This one fortunately does. This one, what makes it attractive, I believe, is that when you sit out on number 7 Green, and you're sitting there, and it's really almost like a little island green, and you look to the right, and there's this beautiful fountain. It's like the one on 14, it's like the one on 14, 15, 16. Part of it is aesthetics, but it does help keep the water, moving. We do have some bubblers and some of the other. I know on 18, and not only we have a fountain, but we've got bubblers in there too to really keep that one. So aesthetics, but also the practicality of keeping the water clean and moving around, things like that. Yeah.
So is there any thought about some of the others or no?
Every year we'll look at it. Yeah, they're expensive. I mean, they're expensive and they're not cheap to run. These things are, 10, 15 horsepower motors running constantly.
The maintenance is issue. The electric motors underneath the fountain pushing up. So there is a maintenance cost. I think they're beautiful. Basically, Mr. Spina and I look at the lakes, and if he throughout the year says, "Man, I'd really like to have a lake there," or if an association comes through and say, "Hey, what do you think about a lake here?" Well, then we need to decide whether it's part of golf or if it's just homeowner, if it's common area, and decide, who would determine if that is needed. But it's an aesthetic thing in my eyes, and if it's a wish list, then we'll look at it.
We have one right in the middle of Loch Marie in that area, that lake there that's surrounded, that it's got nothing to do with the club, but it was an eyesore. That gets no movement. So we put something in, and then the club stuck with both the electrical cost, repairs to the motor, and the upfront cost of the machine itself. Other questions on that portion of common area?
Capital for common area maintenance?
All right.
Okay.
And on page 50 is the common area operating budget. Other than change in payroll, which is due to the annual increase, there really is nothing to discuss.
Yeah, so common area maintenance, like I say, I'm trying to run it exactly how I do the golf course, including the budget and staff management and everything. So there are a couple of changes, a few of them actually going down because, we changed the program from where it was in the past. I feel like I'm meeting the needs for fertility and making sure I'm getting the proper timing for weed and feed. It's 2 times a year. It's in March and it's in October, and that's it. And so that wasn't being done before. So we adjusted this budget accordingly. And once again, the narrative or the assumptions is on page 52. So if you want to know what these line items are about, then you can read that. Uniforms going down just a little bit. Let's see here, just run down, Harvey's correct, not a lot of changes. The tennis allocation for landscaping, 54,000 is paid out of social dues, as we feel that they should be responsible for. Some of the expense goes into the tennis center. Any question on operating for common area maintenance? Mr. Denson?
Yeah, I think you already answered my first question. You said you changed the fertilizing program, so that accounts for the decrease in your budget
Yes.
for this year. The other question is, I was just curious, your fuels and lubricants seems more than this year's projected actual. So I was just curious why it is, you kept it at that.
That could be
Just
fair game for you
just a
to,
fudge.
yeah, you could adjust that accordingly. Looks like we're tracking 14,000.
Yeah.
I got it at 16.8. That's fair game there, if you wanted to adjust that.
Quick question, I'm not sure if this is tennis or for you, that 54,000 for the landscaping, it's all new, what are we landscaping?
Trimming, fertilizing, mowing. Trust me, Mike Puck wears us out. I don't know what we do over there, but we spend a lot of labor over there. So that incurs the labor cost and all that. It is beautiful. And by the way, that was all done in-house. Franz Cosmos did a phenomenal job. We had the plant list that we had to use, but the layout and everything is just phenomenal. We saved a ton of money on that landscape budget.
It's not also just landscape, it's the maintenance of sending the common area maintenance employees over there to maintain the landscaping. So it's that the payroll of that is being allocated between the 2 departments.
Any other questions? All right.
Okay, we're gonna take a 5-minute break, and then we're gonna move into facilities maintenance with David Jenny.
Okay, it's quarter till. Come back.
Thank you.
That's a lot of questions. They're trying to show off.
I'll send you a little discount.
They're just trying to show off. We'll cut, don't worry, we'll cut them off. I'm not even 30 years old. This is.
Why? Because they're private street. I didn't know this. Yeah, but here it says you're not giving I actually started. Yes, that's it. Yes, that's when the puppies in trouble with some childhood issues.
That was a new one on me. I didn't know anything about that until I heard about it here.
What's that? Are they ready to go? I gotta take a.
How do you like our process? How do you like our process?
I see.
I'm gonna go down to my house and said I have to send pictures.
Do you know how many people are watching? Do you know how many people are watching?
Oh, Mr. Watson was on.
Yeah, my phone was great.
How are you? I do have the answer.
Oh,
sorry.
That's to keep us awake.
I don't know. If I get too close, yeah.
Are you guys moving it on this?
Oh, I'm.
Get a dozen of them in your little first order.
Plenty of balls are going in the water.
We wanted it.
I don't know, but I did the water.
How about the other bedroom, the two bedrooms? See, we have sliders 3 ways around. Yeah, we have 3 sliders all the way around. And that's where our bedroom is. Okay.
It's good now, so are you ready?
These are common. And so far, I have to tell you, all 3 of them have not done. So I'll check.
Must be allergic.
All righty, folks, let's go ahead and get started, please. All right, David, you're up.
Okay, David is going to overdue facilities maintenance of 35 years.
Thank you. Good morning, I'm David James, Director of Community Operations in Green Eagles. I'd like to introduce my team, my assistant, Steve Armstrong. He's with the crowd for 2 years. He's superintendent of facilities. He's in charge of the crew, of the daily tasks of the crew, and also manage the EMS system, or the air conditions, and the platform that we use for maintenance or work orders. He's in charge of that. My administrative assistant, Claudia Kamel, she's my assistant, and also is the coordinator of the DCC application that you guys applied. She's in charge, and she is working on the transition for the new system that we're going to have soon, ARC tracker. So, and what do you want me to do?
We'll start on
Capital.
Okay. Capital's on section number 5, page number 91. The first two items are the existing golf cart lease that we share, utility cart lease that we share between common area maintenance, facilities maintenance, housekeeping, and golf course maintenance. There's a percentage formula allocation. So the $38,000 is the monthly payments of the lease, and the $42,000 is their share of the balloon payment needed at the end of the lease. The first item would be the Glengarry Pool and Spa resurfacing for $46,000.
Yeah, that's my first item here is the pool for Glengarry and the spa. It needs attention. We need to do it this year. Out of the 7, and this is from this coming year, we're going to have this one, and then the following one is going to be Longmont Hills. But this year, the spa or the Glengarry need attention, and we need to address it as soon as possible. The next item is the Victory AC air conditions. Is due to replace them. We did this year Lac Marie and Clooney Place, and also Stratton is being done. So now we're moving to Victory to replace these 2 units. Every year we actually allocate some money for water heaters for the pools and the satellites. And we have so many heaters there that every year we have to replace. So we allocate always for 2 heaters, and that's why I have it here for $1,000. The next item is the pool lights at the main pool. They are, half of them are no work. We need to replace it. I have a quote to replace all of them for the same style, like color lights, but it's going to be the entire system over there. By the loading dock, we need to replace the awning and the privacy wall that face and cover the dumpster. So we have some holes, we need to address that this year. And according with the reserve study also, is calling to replace this awning. The North Gate resurfacing or remodeling. I propose to replace or add carpet in this location, which is going to be better for cleaning, especially for the staff. And also, I like to replace the doors because they open out the door, they have to hold it, and it's very, difficult for the security person there. So a sliding door is more appropriate for this location. And we're going to also do some, we need to remodel or redesign the computer, where they have the computer and some of the cabinets there so they can put their stuff, and it's going to be more organized there. The satellite awnings fence, as you're familiar, probably every single Satellite has awning, and under the awning, we have ceiling fans that are in bad condition because the weather. Try to propose a better quality, hopefully industrial, more for outdoor that we're going to put there. I need to replace 28 of them. We have 4 fans in each satellite.
So these are out by the pool under the awnings.
Right. Next item is the radio combiner. The radio combiner is basically a device that allows to have the multiple channel working at the same time. So if call maintenance there have an activity or the pro shop, they can communicate with each other, but if we don't have the combiner, we're going to have conflicts between communication between the departments. So this item is being original. There is no part for it. Last time that we have somebody working in or our repeaters, the guy suggests to replace it because there is no parts, there is nothing else there that we can cover. If that fails, we're going to have serious communication problems. We propose an ADA ramp for kind of like this right side of the housekeeping, coming from the parking lot, going down to the sidewalk. It's an ADA ramp with railings, and it will help members or guests going down to the pool and avoiding going the stairs and going down to the main pool.
Let me speak to that real quick. Do you know where he's talking about? You know where the bike rack is? The bike racks. And then you have the healthy lifestyle entrance. You walk past the bike racks and you get to a point on the little hill there in the parking lot and your laundry's here. It would be access, so if you parked up and you wanted to go to fitness or the pool, you wouldn't go up to go down, you would walk across. What it's gonna look like, because it has to be an ADA ramp, it's gonna go like this. Sidewalk, so you walk down, or wheelchair, or walker, or whatever, then you would walk past the bike rack into fitness. So whether you're going to the fitness center, if you're going to the pool, if you're going to the grill, or if you're going upstairs, you'd walk and take the elevator. It's that, it's that complaint that we get people, I think, gotta go up to go down. That would replace that. Yes, sir.
Well, I've had during the renovation. And it's
Only beneficial. I mean, we'll get into that a little more later, but at one point, you're going to lose valet access. And I don't want to get too deep in it for another day, but our valet access for healthy lifestyle, for the veranda when we do phase 2, part of the access will be down on Legends Way, which is what we did before. Concrete barriers, you drive into one lane, that's your valet. Concrete barriers separate you from the other lane. Having that access to get you up to fitness if you wanted it would only benefit us. It will not be detrimental at all. People have asked for 100 years. We've kind of kicked the can down the road. I think it makes all the sense that we're doing it right. The lighting, railings, ADA. Yes, Mrs.
Well,
Fine.
right now, you have to walk in the street and walk around. So there's no cut through, so even just from a safety perspective, you have to walk to go backward, you
100%.
have to walk all the way to the road and then walk all the way
Yes,
back. So I
that's
think-
right, 100%. Yeah, Mr. Parrish. No, it wouldn't be covered. No. Okay, keep going, Dave.
And I apologize. On line number 5, I skipped one of the items. It is a pool equipment enclosure. Last year, we did one in Glengarry. Is amazing the difference. We have 7 more to go. We're going to do one a year. And that's probably ideal, or we can do more. But at this point, I'm introducing just for one pool enclosure. The originals, it's been 35 years and disintegrating, and we try to keep it up, but it's not. So this is a good platform even for the technician to do and to cover the equipment. The next one is the clubhouse pool shades replacement. It's going to be the same company that is doing the tennis shades for the pickleball. Same company that did the originals in the main clubhouse. It's $47,000 for that. Just recently quote down. They give me that quote for replacing. Of course, we're going to match different color. Will be probably the blue color that we have for the umbrellas. So that'll be the idea.
You know, we're talking about the shade sails right at the Enter Fitness Center on the first level. They're like a triangular shape. If you look at them, they're just about done. So we are gonna change the color to a darker blue that kind of matches everything else around it.
Next item is the Southgate windows. This location never have impact windows. Recently, we replaced tempered glass window. Cause it's just not what we can accomplish putting impact windows. So we're going to put impact windows on the front and at the back, so we don't have to put no shadow panels when we have the storms that we have to go over there and protect everything.
That is our operations center. When there's a storm up to a certain point, if you guys would put it in the window with golf balls, we wouldn't have to replace them either. So that happened recently, if you can imagine. Yeah, it's really good. But
The next item is this community maintenance center carpet replacement. We have a conference room there that is amazing. It's already 5 years and we move in. It's time to replace it for a better quality. Probably we do carpet tile over there. And at the same time, the other two, Jason's office and my office require, so we can do at the same time. And that also is going to be, same company is going to do the Norgate for, I put it in the budget for that, it's $1,200 just to do the Norgate, but it's everything at the same scope of work. The next item is some park benches that we see and we need to replace on the main road and the main sidewalk. We have metal benches that need to be replaced soon. And these benches are from Presswick, which is a company that give us made the furniture for golf courses. It's very appropriate, the style that the plastic that they use for these benches. So we try to get 5 initially for Legends roads. Yes.
Hey, David, 5, does it include our golf?
No, 5 is just for the sidewalk. So that's including.
So locations, what are we talking?
Location, we're talking about the entrance of the sidewalk. We have an arch, there's a bench over there. The next bench is on Glen Devon.
Right.
The next bench is on Clooney in the crossing of Clooney in the main sidewalk. That's the turn. Now we add another bench by the putting green on the Victory course. So we need to replace that one. And an extra bench that we have on Lake Katrine facing the lake that we kind of rescued that for the club. So we put in a bench over there. The benches on the driving range, we painted white because a lot of people complaining about the heat. It improves a lot, but there is metal benches.
You know what, while we're looking at this, what are the benches per bench? How much? How much? 2,000 per bench?
It's 10,000 for 5 years.
Yeah, okay. So we probably want to consider the benches on the driving range. These benches are, what, Kristen, light gray, dark gray, right? And it's the same material that we made the drink station on Legends and on Victory. It's a high density polyethylene HDPE. Doesn't fade, doesn't get hot, doesn't mold, does nothing. It's probably a 15-year life. These benches are reused. It's a metal bench. We electrostatically painted them. I think they look fine. We did it in my opinion, we did it as a temporary. Do we want to consider 4 more for the driving range and be done? Okay, give us some thought. We can, you can make a recommendation. I would do it, then they all look nice. You aren't messing around with them. So just something to consider.
So there are 2 other items that were presented to us after we put together the book. One of them is the replacement of the Southgate arm for $9,800. It's not on your schedule, but we're going to ask you to do it?
This is the operators of the exit gates. When you're going down Linton, the operating gates automatically open after hours. I went with a technician last week after the water storm, all that storm that we have. The condition are bad. It's probably original from the early 2000s. The structure inside, the metal is disintegrating, and we tried to bend it, put bender on it, but it's time to replace it. So
That's the gates that you typically won't see, that we close at night, to keep people from coming in, and then you can exit with automated exits. It's all the mechanicals for that.
Yes. It's $9,986 for
That's an
that.
expensive property. I mean, it's what it, 9,000 change, 10 grand.
10,000.
David, so when we had that flood, that water did not get those though?
No, it didn't get there, but it's just with the time, it's just, you
No,
can
I just wanna
tell.
Make sure we don't put
Yeah.
a new.
No.
equipment and then the next flood.
No, it's just the longevity of that, it's just, and the brackets are rusted, and once they break, it's going to be hard.
No, I got it. Okay. What's the other one?
The next item is
The other
the,
one was the Legends paving.
All right, I'll speak to that one. So,
I mean, we've had some conversations recently about the roadway, specifically Legends roadway. It's two components. One is the actual paving, the milling of it, fixing the roots and paving it, repaving it, striping it. The other is traffic safety. And whenever we do the repave, we want to do LED stoplight, or stop signs, God bless. We want to do crosswalks, which are motion activated. You come to a crosswalk, the light starts blinking, you walk across, trying to safeguard the membership without looking like Las Vegas and having signs everywhere. These are, they're good signs, they're subtle signs. We did meet with a traffic engineer. None of the things we're really doing satisfy appropriate code. We're not breaking the law, but if we were going to redo it, this is how you would do it. In speaking with them, we have 3 quotes or 2?
Three.
Yeah, we have 3 quotes. Which
They range from 500,000 to 584,000.
No, they range from 2.1 million to 2.3 million.
and that is the.
Let me
entire-
explain
the entire
that.
facility.
So the main roadway is $500,000 Legends. In speaking with the companies, they said you don't want to do the main roadway because when you go to pave the rest of the community, you're bringing in 45 trucks filled with aggregate and the striping and everything else. You're just spending good money after bad. The question, and I'm kind of conflicted, is it's $2 million thereabouts, right?
Yes.
And it's, do we do it now? It's cash flow issue, or do we wait? Probably at that point, you're waiting 2 to 3 more years. You're gonna be fixing some potholes. I know that, for example, Victory Lane is, it's got some, where water has been, not Victory, Loch Marie has got areas where water sits and it needs some help. Just over $2 million, a lot of aggravation. We deal with the aggravation, staging it, carting people around, which we did when I think I was here for 2 years and we did it, and it was a project. Imagine your roof replacements multiplied by 4, because that's what it is. It's moving people around. It's not parking in areas. Give it some thought. I mean, I don't know what questions we can answer, but happy to. It's, do we spend $2 million now, maybe a little bit more if we wait 2 to 3 years? That's paving everything parking. It's taking your bump stops out. It's restriping, and it doesn't even include, which is not a big expense relatively speaking, the LED stop signs and some of those. I know, Dave, did you get any numbers on that yet?
For stops, flashing stop signs and everything.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
the crosswalks.
The crosswalk, all those, yeah, everything is coming and getting quotes for.
We'll have numbers, no, that $2 million is everything, including parking lots. Everything, every single paved community asphalt area is redone. Yes. Yeah, Mr. Carts.
I know in the past, we've talked about this, about putting the speed humps in there, because the speed, now that I'm having to walk an awful lot, is that I'm noticing the speed of these Amazon trucks and the Fed trucks, they're coming down at 40, 50 miles an hour at times. I mean, and they're not stopping at the stop sign. These things would slow them down. There's also
Yeah, I mean,
members
that's,
doing it too.
yeah, the
you know.
speed humps are nominal. It's just Legends Way. It wasn't,
Just
I
let
forget
you
what
know,
it
yeah.
was, but it
It's
wasn't a lot of
between
money.
30 and 40,000 for 14 of them.
Yeah. How much was it?
30,000.
Yeah,
to
30,000, a
to
$2 million
40,000.
budget. That's really philosophical. Do you want them, do you not want them? The other, what I saw in a community, I think that is really a stop sign preventative was 4 or 5 white strips. They do rumble. They're not too bumpy. In front of that, it says stop ahead. You got a flashing stop sign. If they don't stop, they chose not to stop, not because they didn't know it was there. They weren't going to stop. The speeders, the only solution there is, you got the speed signs, which are in here. But your traffic
We have
humps.
speed signs in the security capital.
Yeah, but they're in the budget. The speed humps are, those you put them in, you're stuck with them. They're tables, they're speed tables, really. It's if you get more than 25 miles an hour or 30, front of your car goes wrong, and you're like, wow, I'm not gonna do that again. Yes.
So with respect to this repaving, is there any way of factoring this in with the clubhouse renovation?
I mean, you
and
could.
perhaps financing it through that renovation
You
as
could,
well?
you could, that would be a, and then it's, you know, that, do we do phase 1 paving? Do we do phase 2 paving? If we're gonna factor into that in the loan, we can decide collectively. Yes, sir.
Want to do any of these safety issues first, knowing that your roads, knowing that you're gonna have to redo them in 2 years.
Yeah, I wouldn't do those until, listen, the safety engineer came out, he said, when you do your paving, introduce these new safeguards.
So don't do them until.
Now, some of it, you know, you're running low voltage, or some of them may be solar, but, and I wouldn't do them until we do the roadways. Yeah, I wouldn't spin our wheels and try to do that now. Yes, sir.
I don't see any reason to pay them by.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that. I mean, collectively, you make sense? Okay. He said it didn't make any sense he felt we should wait till we do the clubhouse renovation, maybe combine the money with the loan, in which case, listen, it's not gonna be a trailer park in the next, well, I shouldn't say trailer park. It's not gonna be in bad shape in the next 2 years. We'll probably do some repairs. We might have to do a short strip or something, but that's okay. Okay, all right, that's helpful. Go ahead, Dave.
Do we have any other capital questions on facilities? Mr. Wall?
As far as doing the gate and doing the computer and the desks for that, have we talked to the security company about maybe chipping in a few dollars? It's their people that want to be comfortable. And we asked them, that's all I'm saying.
No,
No,
we
this
haven't. I'd say it's a great idea.
I think you should ask them because they want it set up a certain way. Why don't they put a little investment into it?
I think what we're doing is because it's time to do it, it's 14 years, and we renovate that facility. And, yeah,
Well, I'll talk to you.
Yes.
I'm not necessarily in favor of fixing it up over there. Let them stay there, let them do their job, and I'm not in favor of that, but understanding that the recommendation is there, I'll talk to the owner. Yeah.
So let's go to operations then.
operation.
Yeah, so do you have any personnel changes?
We don't have a lot of, 20 changes on our budget compared to the previous budget. The item that always reflect increase in the operating budget is the building repairs, which is one of the parts that is hard to control. Unexpected roof repairs that we have this year actually brought us to over budget on that item. And just the material and everybody, all the suppliers are applying tariffs at this point, and even contractors are overpricing. And so it's something that we don't have control. So we anticipate to get more high tariffs or high costs, and that's why we bring it to like 15 grand more for this item. And the next one is the pools. Pool is always the chemistry. We pay every year, we pay more for chemicals to maintain the 8 pools and spa that we have on property, rather the falls. So on part of that, we need to replace more like the feeders, chemical feeders for these, the amount of pools that we have. So we want to do it in the operation budget with the pools we're going to replace as we start to have problems with these feeders. That's why I increase a little bit. And the other one is the licensing fees. It's something that again we cannot control. It's for certification of elevators, backflow, certification for pool with the health department. All that also increase yearly, and then that's what we need to cover. I don't have more items.
There are no payroll changes, same staffing requirements, so everything stayed consistent there. The only change in payroll is the annual increase.
I have a question about repair and maintenance building. This year, we're projected to spend 193, yet we budgeted for 175. Why do we think it's going to be?
It's because we got over $30,000 on roof repair that we're not expecting to have it this year. Hopefully, if nothing breaks more than usual. That's probably we went up with 15,000 just to prevent. But we don't need to allocate another 30 because I don't think we're going to have roof problem the way that we have it before this year.
That's a line item that you just take a shot at it. You don't know what's going to happen next year. And
Yes.
historically, we've always been over budget on that line item, so just be consistent.
Okay.
Any
other
other
questions?
questions? Wow, okay, this is going to go on. Mr. Benson.
Well, on page 90, we didn't get to that. That's part of I have 3 questions.
Yes.
The fuels and lubricants, I always look at this line and I notice that your projected is 12,778 and we're still budgeting 16. Is that another one where we're just being overly cautious?
Let me talk a little bit about fuels and lubricants. We had a little issue this year with the fuel gauge on the machine at Gulf Coast Maintenance where it was not properly allocating fuel to the various different departments. So I'm not so sure how real that 12,776 number is. Same for other departments. So we decided just to keep last year's budget. If it was good enough for us to do it last year, we kept the same number. Hopefully we have that issue corrected.
So you're saying that, that's the first I've heard of that, you're saying that if you look at your invoices, total from the fuel supplier,
It's
it's
good.
gonna be higher than what would be calculated.
How we were allocating it, each department might have been a little bit wrong. The way the gauges were being read. And
Just make sure that you take total annual fuel
Okay.
and lubricants and make sure that they all tie in. So
I'll verify that.
Yeah, thanks.
My next question concerns signage, which you're projecting, you're asking for 12,000 and this year projected at 8. What's the increased signage?
The signage is all the material that we use for carrying signs, for anything, the plastic sign that you will see around for many locations, signs that breaks on the main road that we need to replace. So all that is the amount that we need to cover. And it's been there, we're using that for different purposes, especially for all those signs around the community. And the cost of like aluminum and repairs, it goes there. So that's part of that.
So it's the materials you're projecting materials costs are gonna go up next year, and that's why there's $4,000
I think
increase?
it's more signs as well. We're doing more in-house, and instead of leaving them,
Right.
we're replacing them. I was having the other day, and with the CAD system, we're making our own HDPE, high-density polyethylene, two-color. We actually engrave all of some of the signs, and I think it's just keeping up with it.
Okay.
Yes.
I think it makes sense to keep that number in there.
My last question concerns electric street light, which you're budgeting significantly less than this year's projected.
Electrical street lighting, I think is that what we actually pay for the electrical consumed in every location of the streets, so we have different meters. And that's what, maybe we're comparing how much we pay every year.
Just one comment on that. We talked about increasing the lumens on the lighting on the roadways.
Right.
Is that and we're gonna go with an LED with a higher wattage, which is still minimal. That won't change it one way or the other, you think?
No, I think we're going to be fine. We changed it from 44 watts to 54. So it's going to increase the lumen on the main road. So we already did some maintenance, some cleaning, but it's not going to affect the consumer power there.
So I still don't understand why, if this year you're at 49,800 and something, and you're projecting the electric costs will be less for next year. I don't understand that.
Nothing really changed. I mean, they're activated by solar, correct? Sun comes.
With the sensor, yes.
Sensors, yeah. If you want to bump it up by $5,000. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I think that would be-
And we using the same value from last year on electric. Electric street lights.
Also, Dave, and another question, because you added those street lights, all along Legends Way, which are operating probably 12 hours a day, I know those are LED too, right? So it
Yes.
doesn't draw a lot of electric, but it's a good question. Do you need to bump it up to 49, or are you making a commitment that we'll stay at 44? Don't look
think-
Harvey, you don't know.
I would, yeah. If I was looking at it right now, I would bump it, but
I mean, we can bring it up. So LEDs, when we step from metal headlights to LEDs, we reduce astronomical the amount of money that we pay for electrical.
When did you transition from that?
Oh, we did it. Yeah, we did it in the past. Yeah.
Your apples to apples
Yes.
this year, make it 49, makes sense,
Right.
let's move on.
Yeah.
okay, going back to fuels and lubricants, I just took the fuels and lubricants line item for every single department and added them up. The budget last year was 177,800. The budget this year is 182,800. The projected this year, 181,261.
Yeah.
So the total next year's budget is in line with this year's.
Just the allocation. Okay, Mr. Richards,
What happened to the neighborhood signs? Not to address the elephant.
neighborhood sign, which one?
The ones that came out.
Monsters.
Sitting in storage, we're not putting that out.
Big elephant.
No. You know what, if we go with signs in retrospect, what I think would be really nice here is a decorative sign on the corners, armed, kind of like your golf course signs. Ones you can see, but that was just a you-know-what.
Right.
And I got no excuse other than to sit in storage. If you need some aluminum, let me know. Yeah. What else we got?
We're done.
Okay, what,
So the next one that was on the schedule was tennis, and after tennis was housekeeping. But Jean DeRay is sitting in the back of the room, so I'm going to suggest that we move housekeeping in front of tennis.
do we want to shift to 12 o'clock then for the kitchen? I told them 12:30.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just let them know, and then we'll do a bunch of 12.
I mean, if we want to, we could also squeeze in, Valet
I
for
want
tomorrow.
everybody to do time, let's say 12 o'clock, and then we might have one more afterwards, and you'll be out of here by 1:30 or.
Gene,
Let Chet know.
you're up. Okay, security is under tab number 6 on page 96 is the capital. Gene DeRay is the head of security, is the head of housekeeping, I mean. So housekeeping is on tab number 6. Capital is on page 96, and Gene has been here 27 years. So we're just gonna start on the capital, and,
Before Gene starts, I just want to say that Gene probably does as well or better job than anybody in this club managing his expenses, getting competitive bids, and he works with Scott Peak as well, but he really does a great job, and thank you, Gene.
Thank you, Mr. Simmons. Thank you, everybody.
let me also say, because a few years back, I do this bi-weekly payroll report, and I distribute to some of the board members and committee members and staff. And a few years ago, and I'm going back at least 10 years, I was wondering if anybody actually reads my report. So one week, I had some fun, and I put in fake numbers into the report. And I made some departments that payroll like $1 million over budget for 2 weeks. And I distributed the report. Gene DeRay was the only one who called me up, screaming and going crazy. What's going on? Because nobody else actually looks at the report. So I know Gene looks at my bi-weekly report.
I look at it. All right, Gene, why don't you do capitals first?
Okay, the first line item, the golf cart lease, which we already discussed, that's the utility lease that's shared by all the departments. That's an existing lease. You can go to line 2. Umbrellas.
Umbrellas. Yes, the umbrellas are for the whole facility, like the 8 pools.
All satellites.
All satellites. So 28 umbrellas will cost $29,000, around $29,000.
What does that give us, 4 in each satellite?
Yes,
Basically.
we counted.
We repurpose, and it's time to put some nice umbrellas that all match in the different satellites, and we're gonna do that, we want to do that this year.
Yes, they are on a bad shape. These are the umbrellas used to be on the main pool. So we try to repair every storm, they need to have them fixed, but we need to go to the right one. And I believe they will be the same color like the umbrellas by the main pool, the blue, the dark blue. And the waist, the base also is included in the price of the umbrella. So the base will be like 90 pounds. So the winds will not be that easy to ship them and break them, things like that. So that's the umbrella.
Because I do know the Stratham satellite, at least once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, I have to go outside and pick up the umbrella that fell over and hit Marie's window.
Yes. And the last item will be a side-by-side scrubber. That's a floor machine to clean the floor, to clean the tile, clean carpet, things like that. So it will be $2,000.
Do we have any capital questions for housekeeping? Operating.
Sorry, quick question. Is this? So this is a very small budget. Is that typical? Just because I obviously don't know all the other years of the past, but is this like?
Housekeeping usually, all that we usually get for housekeeping is that we need some vacuums or things of that nature. Most of the other stuff goes on the facility.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
And the second thing would be the laundry, all the laundry stuff, like the machines, the washers, and dryers. But we just replaced them a couple weeks ago. We would like for the next 10, 12 years. So that's why it's looks small.
Last year's housekeeping budget, the only item last year was 10,906, which was the golf cart lease. So last year was only the golf cart lease, nothing extra. In payroll, there were some changes. We changed a full-time seasonal person to a full-time annual person, and that's the only significant change in payroll.
And the number of employees stay the same?
Yep.
It's not changed?
28 employees.
Stay the same.
So let me move down to the operating section. And the first line to discuss will probably be locker room supplies, laundry supplies, and paper products. Page 95. We took the locker room supplies and moved it up a little bit compared to what this year's actuals was. Same thing for the laundry supplies, and we kept paper products the same. We also moved furniture replacement and repair of this year's actual. And same thing for linen, everything else stayed the same. It's pretty
Yeah, Mr.
straightforward.
Levy, go ahead, sorry.
Quick question, when will the locker rooms be closed for renovation?
Yeah, so I just made a comment.
Mr. Wolk. That's gonna be phase two, and that'll be interesting because flowers, decorations, entertainment, locker room supplies, electric, all of that gets factored into 26, 27, which we did in the past. It's like your golf course, you know, you get rid of chemicals, you get rid of fertilizer, you get rid of whatever. So that's the next budget year. This one and down here has pretty much zero impact operationally. You know, we're not gonna save enough electric with this being non-operational to reflect in this year's budget. If we do it, could we get a little windfall? But the phase two is a big one. I mean, think about payroll. I mean, that we had to do it before. You know, you got all your food and beverage people, and what do you operate in this restaurant and this restaurant? That's it, your locker room. Again, so phase two.
Is there anything else to discuss in housekeeping?
Yes.
Cell phone?
Yes, cell phone.
That's Gene and,
We increased the cell phone.
The night supervisor, Hector. We have one supervisor who works at night. He has a lot of calls from us. He never been on it. Yes, that's Hector.
Hector's on night.
We put him on an allowance.
Yes.
You know, one of those checks that you're gonna be signing.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, right. Okay, once a year now.
That's what I'm advocating.
Sure. Just to let everybody know.
You use your.
Yeah. Just to let everyone know, starting in the next fiscal year, we are going to start paying our employees who receive a telephone allowance once a year. And if for some reason they leave or whatever during that year, it will be handled.
For windfall.
Yeah, because we have had to sign, in my 4 years of signing checks, we've had to sign them once a month, and they're about more than 30 checks.
That makes
So,
sense.
just to let everyone know.
Yes, sir, Mr. Barrett.
They pay the check to the vendor or?
No,
No, this is a cell phone allowance.
It's an allowance.
Cell phone allowance, yeah. We give them a flat amount, you know, the cell phone, you know, it may or may not cover their actual single cell bill. That's on their plan.
Is it their cell phone?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's why we're paying for part of the service, part of the phone.
It's the fact that a lot of these people need to be using their phone and their off hours or whatever. Yes, Mr. Yano.
Just a matter of curiosity, we have a system in here for, you know, climate control where you close down the power at night and.
Yeah, we do, and I would not use it again, with the new construction, because it's terrible. It's a very, computerized system, but sure, it doesn't work effectively, in my opinion. I come in here at 6:30 in the morning, and the lounge is freezing, the waterfall room's freezing. They even check the thing. It's, what is the name of the system?
Advanced control.
What is it, advanced? We're gonna find, Dave's actually looking now to come up, and so is Steven, to come up with a different product, because it's not a good product. You know, we're able to manage, it still. And the lights are on at 6 in the morning or 5:30, because housekeeping's here, people, why are the lights on? 11 at night, because housekeeping's here. Why is it on at 5 in the morning, because housekeeping's here?
Is there any cost savings from that kind of a system?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be, it's on a timer. Some of it works great, the fountains, the parking lot lights, you know, the things that it does run, but it's just not, some of the back end, we can't even manage it. That's my gripe, is that you want to change something, you gotta contact the company. If you want something we can manage from the back end. We had something fail in here, and instead of trying to find a module, I said, thermostat in that we can manually do for the next year. And then when we renovate it, we'll work on a new software, a new company that can provide software, so yes. Not pleased with it, but hopefully that answers your question.
Are we okay with housekeeping?
Yeah.
And before lunch, I recommend we make another schedule change. We could do security in 5 minutes, I could do security 1, 2, 3, there's nothing to really discuss. So, and it's scheduled for tomorrow, so, thank you.
Thank you.
Where's Christmas lights or holiday lights in this? What's that?
It's under facilities maintenance.
Is that contract labor? Under contract? Holiday?
Yeah, holiday lights.
Contract.
The electrical part of it too, like how long we put it?
It's the installing of the lights is on the contract service.
I mean,
That's what we don't talk about.
so we used to keep it for 1 month, now we keep it for pretty much 2 months. But it's so.
Sometimes that's a little more just like lighting it up, like on the outside versus the.
So,
It's nominal, like that would be.
No, that's not nominal. I'm talking about the electric. So the question was, can we keep the holiday lights longer? And I think it's almost 60 days now that we keep these. 2 months, yeah. So it's 2 months, they bumped up the price. It's the replacement, which is nonstop with these lights. A strand will burn out, they gotta come up, bucket truck, pull them off. So they're charging you to maintain them. I mean, we could get a 3-month price. Right now, it's, what is it, almost $30,000? 40,000?
They'll turn them on early, but they will only commit to no charge repairs.
Right.
I think it's November 15th.
Just for grins and giggles, get a cost. What's an additional month? Because people do ask that. I know they're beautiful. We did put them out by the fountain here. Those, I think, are those ours, Dave, now?
Yes.
Yeah. We did add some because people like them, but it's expensive, Jesus. But we'll get a number for if you wanted to do 90 days, what it would cost. That's all in, we pay installation, taking them down, it includes the repairs, of like, which go out constantly. If you drive through, you really look, you'll see a big strand out here, they gotta come up. That's on their dime, but it's gone up from 23,000 to 40,000, probably because we extended a little. We can get a number though.
All right, Harvey,
In security, under operating, section number 7, page 98. The only line item in the budget that changes is the security contract, which has an annual 3% rate increase built into the contract. That's the $36,949 increase. Everything else, it's pretty close to budget, to actual, so we kept the same budget. Under the capital, which is on page 99, there are 4 items. We've been asked to get a license plate recognition AI camera system to take pictures of vehicles that are leaving the property or coming in. The exit of the property, that's $20,000.
Does that work in tandem with the entrance, or is that?
The AI cameras, there's 8 of them, so they're gonna catch license plates entering
Yeah.
as well as exiting. So the reader, what you can do is you can type in a plate, so C96JK, and it'll give you video and date stamps of every time that plate is entered. You also can type in like silver Acura SUV, and it'll show you all the silver Acura SUVs coming in. Like, there's certain limitations, like, I think Volkswagen look like BMW or something like that, they said, but it does help, and it does capture the plates. With 8 cameras, it should capture the plates entering as well as leaving. Both gates.
Mr. Kavanaugh.
So with, what I think I heard was that, you got these serial renters that are screwing with the system and
That's definitely, I mean,
the 6 monthers who are really doing 4 months.
the truth is, we never know when someone leaves the community. Because
It's leaving that prompted this.
their barcode as well as their guest entries are only recorded on their way in. So the truth is, someone could be going to your house to clean your house, and then they may not leave right away. They may be in the community all day, all night, you never know. So I think with us being able to identify by license plate suspicious exit times, I think it'll help, it'll come in really handy.
Yeah.
Does that work for Corvettes too?
Yeah, we have a noise,
Noise,
well, yeah.
Check.
We also have 3 other items. There's a speed radar, the traffic clock, and the flashing stop signs. I think we already mentioned the flashing stop signs when David was up here. But the items are listed under this budget.
Street race, that the whole.
No, that's speed boards. The speed boards that post your sign, your speed as you go by. It's just, it creates an awareness, but the traffic hawk, it's just the administrative side. I mean, I know I spoke about finding an additional staff member that can take that off of Catherine, but if we add this second traffic hawk, I mean, you may or may not understand the process that she goes through. It's sending the notice out, then they want to review the tape because they weren't speeding or they weren't speeding. So then we got to send the video to them. Then they come back and they get the board approves the ticket. Now they want to appeal. So she's got to send another letter out. This is when your appeal is. They appeal, they rejected your appeal. You send another letter out. Your appeal was rejected. You got to pay, or your account was billed. It's exhaustive, but we had talked recently about finding an additional employee or an employee. We actually interviewed a company that said they did this. They don't do it. They wanted us to be their first club. I said, no way, we're not going to be the guinea pig. So if we do put it in, which is fine, leave it in, but it's gonna create more labor. We've got to come up with a better solution.
Yes.
Do we need another traffic hawk? I mean, I feel like there's a fair amount already on the list already. Is there, we trying to, what's just not.
Yeah, so you know what? I'll tell you what, a lot of the people getting the tickets are the vendors, your guests. Those are the people that are getting the tickets. I think it's just gonna create this that, hey, you better not speed. Now there's 2 of these out there. It's not a revenue generating idea. If you speed as a member, it is an inconvenience. If you get 1 or 2 tickets, you're typically gonna stop. Do we need it? Are we desperate? No. It may benefit us in the sense that the people that are speeding are getting caught. I don't want to say I'm not in favor of it because my goal is to make this place safer. Did you have a question?
I was going to make a comment. We talked about a second traffic hawk years ago, and there really was an unpopular response from the membership.
Yeah.
I
mean, it ain't popular.
The response was, hey, we're trying to raise revenue on a gotcha system.
Yeah, nothing to do with revenue. It's just, I'll tell you what, collectively, if you think it's, from the optics standpoint, it's just abrasive, get rid of it, take it off. I got no problem with it. I know Catherine would, Mrs. I don't.
So I'm more concerned with people running stop signs. And so is there any way to have
that is-
cameras on?
Well, that is a stop sign. If you, what we do
Yeah,
is we
but
post
we
it.
have it.
No, we do. That's part of the tickets you get. Are if you've dedicated one traffic hawk to stop signs, which meant now thinking about it makes sense. What happens is you're gonna have a stop bar. And that sign is on the other side of the stop. And it's very simple. When you come to that stop sign and it registers that you went through it 5, 6, 7, 8 miles an hour, it's gonna notify us that you ran a stop sign. How do we know that? Because when you're going by it, it shows your front wheels going past the stop bar, and then right in the corner, it shows that you were going 6 miles an hour, so you didn't stop. That is a legitimate way to tell if you run a stop sign, 100% accurate, and nobody
You
can.
can only check one stop sign at a
Absolutely,
time.
absolutely.
So are there stop signs that have some sort of facility in them for a camera?
Cameras, yes, logging it, downloading it, your traffic hawk is the most effective way, yeah.
But if you're talking about doing those sort of grids before when we do the roads, you're gonna, right
Oh,
before
yeah,
every
yeah,
stop sign,
yeah.
I feel like
When
we're
we
doing
do.
one thing, now we're doing multiple things. We sort of just pick one and do it. And
You know,
we already
it's-
have traffic hawk. I feel like,
Yeah.
like I said, our list is long, and you said Catherine's already. I just feel like there's just become so much oversight. Everywhere you feel like somebody's trying to get you.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to feel that way around the neighborhood either. Because it's mostly not us, right? So,
No, it's guests and vendors mostly.
so then that's.
And
what
then
you're-
unfortunately, the member gets pinched. Are they telling their guests and vendors? I don't know.
Well, if it's FedEx or if it's Amazon.
Oh, I can't. The Amazon independent drivers would come in their own car, we'll give them a ticket. Now, I don't know if they're paying it or not, or we've got one guy, I told security, don't let this guy back in. I chased him around the neighborhood one morning at 6 a.m., I swear to God. I pinned him in and I said, what are you doing? He's an Amazon driver. Said, get out of here, I don't care if you're delivering your packages, don't ever come back. And we put his name at the gate. But Amazon, FedEx, UPS, Postal Service, yeah. So back to our question, do we want to keep the traffic hawk? You don't want to keep it, take it out. I don't. We want it to be safe. If we were going to keep it, I'd say put it at all stop signs only and don't make it a speed radar sign. Yes, sir.
Just Catherine, part of the city traffic part, is this a place where you might think about somebody who wants to work out of their house?
Yeah, no, we're trying to come up with a better solution. We're working on that right now. It just, over the last few weeks, we talked about it. I know Mr. Benson, we talked about it.
Are there any issues?
Yeah.
Are there any issues with regard to their access to your computer system or anything like that?
No, I would try to find somebody internally that we feel comfortable with. Yeah, we've got some people. I know we talked about Lizelle, we talked about some others. We'll work on it. We've got 300 employees here. We can find one to help do this. What else?
Can I just
Time for
ask
lunch?
a question?
Oh, yes, sir. Go
What
ahead.
is Tom's position on the additional
He's
traffic?
the director of security. Yeah.
No, what is his perspective? What is his perspective on the additional traffic?
I didn't ask you. We manage it completely. He doesn't do anything with the traffic other than move it around and downloads the information, gets it to Catherine, and all the legwork is done by her.
No, but he reviews every single video, every single morning that he comes in. That's how he, no, I'm telling you, I've spoken to him about that. That's how he knows whether or not somebody has gone or rolled through the stop sign, or whether it has gone more than 10 miles an hour or more than 5 miles an hour. He tells me he gets it at 5 o'clock in the morning and reviews it every single
Well, that's news to me.
Craig, how much is the current traffic hawk used? Is it out every day? Is it every other day?
I'd have to ask Tom.
It's every day, Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
How many hours a day? Is it 8 hours a day?
I see him when I come in the morning. Yeah, he comes in sometimes earlier. Yeah. His hours are 4 or 5 in the morning. But,
He gets it early, that's the time.
It's been out on weekends. The summit's been out on
Oh,
Sundays.
okay, I don't know that.
yeah, so then Tom does news to me. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Member fines are $20,000. Obviously, it's not all from the travel call, but maybe over the course of a year, if you get another one, it'll generate enough revenue.
Yeah, it's not about the revenue though. It's really about, you don't ever want to say that as we're telling our members on the camera right now. It's not, absolutely, it's solely for safety. Yeah, it's solely for safety. $20,000 one way or the other, but give it some thought. You know, when it's time to download, we'll, let us know. You want to take it out, we take it out. If we, in retrospect, if we do keep it, I would say make that a stop sign, traffic hawk. The other one you move around to make that speeding, and it's a lot of work though. We'll work on that side. That's our administrative wise, that's our responsibility. Is that it? All right, lunch is served.
Tom's coming in.
You want to say something on the mic?
Tom's coming in. Hopefully everybody has any questions at the moment.
Only stereotypical difference. There it is. Hey, you told me. Oh, yeah.
Stop sign. Stop sign. Used to make sure that between the speeding finding somebody that believes personally, I don't think it's necessary because I think we're doing well. We're inundating the members with this. I think we're getting